everything is going right. The preparations are happening to make sure that Somerset are in the perfect position to take on Northamptonshire. Desperate for a win. They had to beat Glamorgan on Wednesday night. They did that with the help of an unbeaten century from Babar Azam. Tonight they have to beat Northamptonshire. Kickoff is at 5 o'clock. I can see Lewis Gregory heading over to our pitch side area with Steve Snell. Let's hear what the captain has to say after the toss.
Lewis, thanks for joining us. That was a short and sharp one. What news can you give us from the toss?
So we've lost the toss and we're bowling.
So we're bowling first, and what team news have you got for us?
Same team as Cardiff, no changes, so hopefully it'll be the same result.
Well, yeah, great result at Cardiff. We've got the RNLI, we're sponsoring them tonight with Trade Nation. Obviously it looked like the ship was going underwater a little bit, and all of a sudden there's been a resurgence, and we're back, and there's a chance of qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've played some good cricket throughout the competition, and we've played some poor cricket at times in the competition. So to put a performance like we did last game on Wednesday against Glamorgan was really nice, and hopefully we can ride that momentum today.
Cool. And just for a clarity check, so no Josh Davey tonight? So
no Josh Davey.
No Josh Davey, same team as we mentioned. I did my research earlier and obviously got the wrong end of the stick, didn't I, from the coaching staff, so serves me right that for being too prepared. But there's been some really exciting performances over the course of last week. Obviously 100 from Babar Azam, and Will Smead and Lewis Goldsworthy coming to the party as well. That must be really pleasing when you've got players coming into the side and making a difference straight away.
Absolutely. I think obviously what Smeady did here last week, and then seeing Lewis on debut with the performance he put in, the really mature performance that he put in was fantastic to see, and that's what you want. You want these guys to come in and be relaxed and just go out and play their natural games, and they've done that, and hopefully they can keep kicking on, and we can have a few more performances like that for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and a word on Babar Azam as well. He'd had a fairly lean tournament by his lofty standards. It was great to see him play so well on Wednesday.
Absolutely. He's obviously been number one in the world for a very long time. I think he's just been pipped by David Lan at the moment, so it's nice to see him score some runs. He's obviously a fantastic cricketer, and to be fortunate enough to have him on our team is very, very special, and hopefully that will help the guys like the youngsters that get the opportunity to bat with him in the future.
So as Somerset captain, obviously these are the sort of games that you love to lead and love to be involved in. Must be excited about what's on the line for tonight's game.
Absolutely, yeah, must win. We've got two must-win games basically to be able to qualify, and these are the types of games, like you say, that you want to be involved in. You want to be in these must-win games, and we're in that position because we've not been consistent this year, and we've seen it before. Teams have gone on to win 5-6 games in a row to win and lift the trophy. So hopefully we can do that.
Well, all to play for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Lewis. I know you're a busy man, so I'll let you run off and get ready. Cheers for joining us. Yeah, so all to play for here. So news from the toss. The Northants have won the toss, and I think they're going to have a bat.
It's going to be tight. He's giving it a takes another. It's a huge wicket for Somerset. Have to run, direct hit. Cream for again. I think it's gone all the way. Yes, another six for Tom. All out for 152. A great win.
Oh, and that has been swept away.
I was driving home down the M5, M6. It was basically like doing all sorts, kind of like doing my training and the rest of it, and driving up to Stoke twice a week. It's a journalism degree, and I nearly had a horrific accident. I was just so tired, so I just said, like, you know what, I'm just doing too much here, so I stopped doing it. And I wish I'd finished the course, but even doing that year, you go through lots of stuff and.
Run rate, that is important. That Northamptonshire Steelbacks, they're on 0.144, the run rate. Somerset 0.693. It's a complicated system, but what it means is that if Somerset were to win tonight, they draw level on points with Northamptonshire, but they would be above them in the table with the superior run rate. So exciting stuff. We do have some fun on the way for you. You might remember in the last game here last Friday night, on Sunday it was the last game here, we were talking about my catching. It seems to have been a recurring theme, how I dropped a catch live on TV last year. Well, we've thanks to Steve Snell, we've got a bit of fun in store for you, where I've been out with some of the coaches trying to take some high catches with money on the line for charity as well. But don't think Steve got away scot-free either. He's been in the nets facing an England international. So we'll see how all of that happened before the match starts in just under half an hour. Confirming the news from the toss, which is that Northamptonshire Steelbacks have won the toss. They've elected to get runs on the board. So they have they've put Somerset into the field to start with, and they've decided that they want to have a bat. So we'll see how they get on here in Taunton as soon as possible once that game gets going at 5 o'clock. We'll bring you the confirmed team news very shortly as well here on the live stream for you. It's weather-wise looking really nice, settled. It's quite breezy out there, but other than that, blue skies, some wispy white clouds. We're in, we'd think, for an uninterrupted game today, so it should be great. I know there'll be a lot of people watching from Pakistan as well, where I believe it's just approaching 9 o'clock in the evening. So good evening to you if you are listening in Pakistan. Babar Azam, we'll have to wait to see him tonight. The toss has been won by Northamptonshire, and Somerset will be bowling and fielding first here at Taunton. Gloucestershire, as I've mentioned, top of the table. There's Somerset's next opponents on Sunday. In fact, the last of the group games. If Somerset win tonight, then they'll go into that game knowing that a win against Gloucestershire is enough to see them through to the knockout stages of this competition. Really exciting stuff here at Taunton. Let's take a quick look at what we can see out in the nets at the moment. The captain, Lewis Gregory, is around there. I can just see Max Waller having a bowl as well. He's been very effective for Somerset as usual in the group stage of this tournament so far. Craig Overton as well, who's been an excellent addition to this T20 squad. Someone who plays a lot of red ball cricket, now been playing a lot of white ball as well, and been very effective with his pace early up. So looks like that is going to continue. Lewis Goldsworthy will play today. He made his debut in Cardiff, so expecting him to play again. We know that Lewis Gregory told us is an unchanged team, so Lewis Goldsworthy will be playing, and Roland van der Merwe also in that squad as well. So plenty of spin options for the captain. We'll see what that all turns out and how they choose to play the game very soon.
L'Oreal has launched its Makeup, Not Make Waste scheme through its flagship makeup brand, Maybelline New York. More than 1,000 drop-off points have been set up in branches of Tesco, Boots, Sainsbury's.
I'm here by the Trade Nation boards. We had a great deal of excitement the other Sunday when we played against Gloucestershire. Ian Cobain hitting the board twice in the same over, and let's just have a little bit of a look about the impact of that. So a nice big dent there, which kind of evidences one of the £250 that Cobain savagely whacked into the boards. Trade Nation have been on the phone, and they've actually said if one of their Somerset players hit the Trade Nation board tonight, they're going to double that donation. It's going to be 500 quid. And tonight's charity is the RNLI, and do a great job in terms of keeping us all safe at sea. So brilliant cause, and yeah, it did look a little while ago that Somerset's campaign was sinking in this competition, but the lifeboats have been well and truly out in the form of Lewis Goldsworthy and Will Smead, and it looks like things are all going to plan again. But yeah, hopefully we'll have some more money raised tonight. As I said, £25 for every 4, £50 for every 6, all to the RNLI. And yeah, have a great look at some of the work that they do and some of the treacherous conditions in which they operate in.
Clear.
Yeah, an absolutely fantastic cause, the RNLI, and yeah, some of those conditions absolutely horrific. Yeah, just for those of you that have been following the thread around Charlie Taylor's catching, or lack of it, this summer, we thought we'd actually get something together and see if we can evidence a little bit more of his prowess underneath the high ball. In conjunction with Trade Nation, we got together and we had Charlie's charity catch and set up a bit of a challenge. So what we did, we put the balls up in the air, 6 catches, and see how many that Charlie could catch. And yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. We had Somerset assistant coach Paul Tweddle hitting some bombs up in the air, and Charlie Taylor with what you can only be described as a slightly maverick technique, just undertook this challenge. Let's have a look, see how we got on. Out here in the middle of the Cooper Associates County Ground, I've got Charlie Taylor with me. We're going to talk about your catching extraordinaire in a minute. And Paul Tweddle, Somerset assistant coach. There's been a bit of chat flying around about Charlie Taylor's catching prowess. And you may well have seen an edit of him dropping a catch at a TV game last year, which hopefully we would have showed a few times tonight already. But Trade Nation have very kindly agreed to donate £50 every time Charlie Taylor completes a catch. That's £50 if he catches one. They've obviously seen the footage already of him shelling them, so they obviously don't feel too worried about that. But Charlie, how are you feeling about tonight's challenge?
I am really nervous about tonight. I'm not known for my catching. I play for a local club in Somerset, and they know that if it's coming to me, it's runs rather than wickets. So I am nervous. Just done a couple of practice ones, managed to hold on just about to a couple. So we'll see. Extra pressure with 50 quid riding on it. I mean, that adds on a bit of pressure there. So I'm nervous. Yeah,
absolutely. Tweds. If people are at home on the Trade Nation website, I don't think this is available to trade on, but it might be. Where would your money be? Would you be trading heavily with Charlie or against him here?
I haven't seen the start, mate. I think I'm going evens at the moment. I think I'm definitely worth 150 quid, I reckon.
150 quid? That would be brilliant. We've got the RNLI, that's going to tonight. So Charlie Taylor, let's see what he's got. We're ready for catch number 1.
Yes!
Well done, 50 quid in the coffers. We've got some of the Somerset players up on the balcony giving Charlie a bit of stick as well. Looking forward to some. Tom Abel saying hit it higher. That one's gone a bit higher. Oh, Charlie! Catch number 3 coming up. Charlie Taylor underneath that high ball again. Charlie, you don't play the piano, do you? No. Good job. Your mouth is your the money maker here, as they say. So catch number 5 coming up. Tweddle gives us some height. Taylor underneath it. Yeah! Straight in the breadbasket. It's 150 quid for charity, Charlie. So for 1 catch to come.
Could be 200.
Could be 200 quid coming to the RNLI. Catch number 6 going up. Tweddle gives it a bit more height.
Yes!
So completed the catching challenge, and I have to say, Charlie Taylor, £200, 4 catches caught. How did that go?
I am amazed that 4 managed to stay in. Okay, not cleanly, like you said, some of them, but I tell you what, that gives me a newfound respect for that. If you imagine the floodlights on as well, a full crowd, obviously not this year, but normally that pressure, knowing also if it's a big wicket, if it's their key batsman, that's a lot of pressure. It's actually quite painful as well. So fair play to them, but I'm absolutely delighted. 200 quid for charity.
Well, there we have it, Charlie Taylor, the £200 man, as he's going to be known on tonight's stream. But yeah, brilliant to see him getting underneath those bombs from full Tweddle. And as I said, slightly maverick technique, but it worked from him. Jace, I know you saw a little bit of that earlier. Charlie Taylor, 12th man tonight, if a few injuries down?
Well, I think you're right. His technique was very interesting. I think we'll leave that to the professionals, but you know, fair play, raising money for charity, it's a great effort.
Yeah, we've had a few initiatives going on during this competition. I did see there was a young lad out there in the nets earlier having a bit of a bat, Don Bess. Any comment on his promise?
I'm not allowed to say it on camera. One, he's not very young. Two, I think he's past it now.
Yeah, it's certainly getting a little bit larger, that's for sure, in all the wrong areas. But
I'm glad you said that.
let's move on to more important things. So tonight's game, obviously, huge game for Somerset. Can't understate the huge difference in the competition this will make if Somerset get a win tonight.
Yeah, what I like is we know what we've got to do. Obviously, you know, with 3 games to go, we've got to win all 3. We had a great performance Wednesday evening at Cardiff, and we need to follow that up tonight. Northampton strong side in this format, but you know, a lot of confidence taken from Wednesday. So hopefully we get the right result later.
Yeah, I spoke to Lewis when he came over after the toss. A huge positive must be guys like Will Smead, Lewis Goldsworthy coming in and delivering performances, but also Babar Azam getting 100 as well. I know you're laughing because you know I'm promoting the academy players, but yeah, Babar Azam getting 100 as well. It's brilliant. These guys making a difference.
Yeah, Babar's obviously world class, and for his standards has underperformed in the tournament so far. So it's brilliant to see him back to his best. And you know, I can't understate the partnership with Lewis Goldsworthy. You know, we sent him in to do exactly that role, and he did it brilliantly. And then showed also towards the end what he's capable of to make sure we got a competitive score. So you know, he'll take a huge amount of confidence from that, as will Smeedy from the other night. And hopefully they can put in strong performances tonight too.
Yeah, having worked with Jace for a long period of time, one of the things I know he's very keen on is the runner between the wickets, and Lewis Goldsworthy, he's lightning quick, isn't he, between the sticks? Yeah,
he's got a lot of attributes, you know, so you know, he's in my pocket for football, so we'll talk about that one day. But you know, he's a great athlete, great competitor, and he's got a really good cricket brain, and he demonstrated that brilliantly on Wednesday night and hopefully again tonight. Yeah, the lads call him Messi, don't they? We're not allowed to play football anymore, but in the good old days we could play football. He was running rings around everybody. Yeah, around most of them, Snelly. Yeah, yours and mine, hamstrings, absolutely. But was there any special, coming back last final word on tonight, was there any special words that you gave the team ahead of, because it's such a big fixture, are you trying to downplay the magnitude of it, or trying to amp up the guys' levels in regards to that? No, I think for me it's all about remaining calm and composed. You know, T20 cricket's frantic as it is, and you know, the best teams perform really well when they're clear and they've got that clarity. So it's about reinforcing the things we did brilliantly on Wednesday night and try and transfer those this evening. Absolutely. Well, Jace, wish you all the best tonight. Hopefully it goes well for the boys. I did mention at the start of this interview about a young whippersnapper that was in the nets, or maybe not so young, but we're going to take a look about the challenge that I had with Don Bess earlier. I needed to score 11 runs to win off the over. Bessie was trying to restrict me. Let's see if I could do it. We're here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. It's the Steve Snell v Charlie Taylor Challenge. I've got England international Don Bess with me today, and we're going to have a charity challenge. I'm going to try and put a bit of pressure on Trade Nation to donate some cash if I manage to defeat Bessie here and win the challenge against Charlie. So 10 runs off and over that I'll need. Bessie will need to restrict me. How are you feeling about that?
Pretty confident, mate, to be honest. Been out of the game for a while. I know you turn up for a couple of club games a year, so no doubt you've practiced for this one.
Well, you've forgotten that I've taught you everything that you know, so I've got an inside track here.
There we go, let's see it.
Well, we'll see what happens here. 10 runs, we haven't decided whether it's 10 runs to win or 11 to win, but we'll make that up as we go along. Shows how much I went out of the game. I've got with 2 right-handed gloves.
So I think in terms of the result, I think Snelly's now got to get 11. So 10 to tie, 11 to win for Snelly. This is going to be... So he needs 8 off 3 here. It's got to get a boundary at least.
2! Yes, 2!
That ball has landed there, and he's saying 2, and I've got mid-wicket.
6 off 2. Yep. A little tickle for 4.
2 off 1 hit. Tie. Super Bowl. What do you want?
2 to win.
2 to win, okay. So we got a Super Bowl, 2 off 1.
Same field. First week come in.
He's in. Steve Snell, thank you very much.
Hey Bessie, well done. Honourable draw that, 10 scored off the over. What's great to see, I love the fact international cricket are not too big to come and bowl at the TV presenter / academy director and still come out with a tie, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Absolutely brilliant. Now, Steve, okay, it was all very well and good. You said, I'm going to set you up to take 6 high catches in the deep. The other part of that was that you were supposed to face a quick bowler. This was Dom Bess, you got the spinners on.
Yeah, I used my influence very wisely this afternoon, and I thought, who potentially could be available? Let's get the off spinner in.
Fair play, fair play. What was it like facing Dom?
It was good fun actually, to be fair, because obviously I've kept or mitted to Dom for a while, you know, with him being on international duty. But I did actually try and mule him. I thought, I had a couple of warm-up balls, and I just hang back on the back foot. And I thought, when the first ball comes, I'll charge him and try and put him into the churchyard. But he was a little bit too savvy for me. But yeah, it was good fun, and he's such a good lad and a really good sport. And yeah, brilliant that we could have a bit of fun this afternoon. For charity.
I love the fact that you were there confident enough that this guy who's just played tests against Pakistan and the West Indies, and you think, I'm going to send him into the churchyard.
Well, he's a spinner, isn't he? there to be whacked. But let's move away from me for a second. Let's talk about the £200 man, Charlie Taylor.
I am absolutely delighted about that. I honestly was really nervous that I was going to drop them all, because I'm not a great catch. I've never really played cricket properly. I've loved watching it and I love learning about it, but I never really coached in it. So to get under them, and I don't think they were taking it easy on me.
But you also had the added pressure of there was money on the line for charity. Can you imagine the stick you would have taken from not only your mates but from all our viewers around the world had you not managed to register any money for the RNLI today? And 200 quid, that's not to be sniffed at.
I caught the first one, and as soon as I caught that, the pressure fell off, because I was like, at least there's something going to charity here. At least it's something, even if it was only 50 quid.
What I absolutely loved, we had some of the Somerset players on top of the Ian Botham stand, waiting just to prepare for this afternoon's game. Started heckling you for the first few catches, and then I heard Captain Tom Abel give it the old, come on lads, this is for charity, so they stopped heckling you.
Oh, good old Tom, isn't he great? Backing me up, good for him. I also heard someone calling for it to be made harder. Do you reckon, who was that, Max Waller or someone?
Probably Waller.
Those fielders asking me.
Driving the standards.
Unbelievable.
I think you said to me, didn't you, you had a kind of newfound respect for actually those guys picking up those balls from the blue skies.
It's ridiculous. Coming out that high, especially when there's a game pressure on, is massive. And it, not to say the least that actually it hurts. My hands are tingling here. My fingers hurt a little bit from that. Obviously my technique's not perfect, but yeah, it gives me a bit of respect for those people. But great fun. I'm sure we'll see some of the clips through the game as well.
I hope so. One of the things I do coach with the young players, talk about actually just accepting the ball and getting rid of those crocodile hands. I'll definitely be calling you Charlie the Snapper, I think.
Charlie the Snapper, I like that. Right, now let's get back to cricket. There's loads looking forward to here. Steve's been out taking a look at the pitch for us. Let's find out what happened when Steve took a look at the pitch.
Pitch side just ahead of the Somerset v Northamptonshire game. A little bit windy out here, so hopefully you can hear me. We're on the same wicket that we played on the previous 2 games here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. It's a hybrid wicket, the synthetic fibres woven into the surface, and over 400 runs, or nearly 400 runs, I beg your pardon, scored the last time we played on this wicket. So I'm expecting a fairly high scoring encounter tonight. The wicket may be a little bit slower, 2 games have been played on it, but yeah, it looks a pretty flat batting surface to me.
Okay, so you're fancying a bit of runs then today? We've got Northamptonshire batting first. We know that they've got a couple of openers who love to hit boundaries.
Yeah, I think the wicket will be a little bit slower potentially than some of the other occasions, just because of the nature, the fact this will be the 3rd game on it, and also having both sides. I think generally got 3 spinners in each side, so that we're going to see a lot of pace off the ball. We saw on The last game here on the Sunday, Gloucestershire used pace off the ball a lot, used the left arm spinners of Tom Smith and Graham Van Buren to really good effect. So I'd be really surprised if we didn't see the likes of Graham White, for example, doing something similar. I didn't see the Northamptonshire side, I didn't ask Lewis about that. So there we go. Yeah, Graham White, definitely a bit of spin from him. Josh Cobb, bit of spin as well, and Saif Zaib, a bit of spin as well. So particularly now that Lewis Goldsworthy is slotted into that middle order, Somerset have got 3 really good options from a spin bowling perspective, and just taking the pressure off those seam bowlers who have, in all honesty, leaked some runs in this competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly, we've seen it here, haven't we? And I think we criticised here on the commentary in the last game. Actually, Somerset bowling a bit too short with their seam deliveries, and Gloucestershire playing really well, punishing that. So perhaps the spin they see as a better option, not only keeping the runs down but also taking wickets.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely, and I think certainly with the ball gripping away from the bat, so from the right-handers, from Van der Merwe and Goldsworthy. If you look, Levi, Sterling, Cobb, Rossington, Wakely, right-handers, and we've got a few left-handers with Proctor, Zaib and White. I think Proctor's left-hander, excuse him if he's not. So I think there's some good variation in there. I think one of the things I'll be looking to see from the Somerset seamers tonight, I was very vocal from Sunday's game about how Gloucestershire were able to get underneath the ball and hit many boundaries towards the square boundaries. We did also see Ian Cobain hit the Trade Nation sign for charity, which, by the way, tonight Trade Nation are actually doubling that if one of the Somerset players managed to hit the sign. So it'll be 500 quid to charity, which is absolutely fantastic. Money just being absolutely thrown away, which is superb for the charities involved. But I would like to see Somerset bowlers get the ball underneath the bat, try and get the hit down the ground far more often. If there does need to be a change-up and the batter plays a good shot, let's see the Ian Botham stand being taken on, or the Marcus Trescothick pavilion being hit, rather than the retirement flats and the Andrew Caddick pavilion side. So that would be a good measurable for me.
Definitely, absolutely right. And we're on commentary cam now. You can see Steve's treated us to a bit of Chino Watch today. For those who've been keeping an eye on hashtag Chino Watch, he's got them on. Are those the ones from the first game, are they, Steve?
Yeah, well, I thought I'd roll them back out. I did think about going for some shorts today, but it's nearly October, isn't it? We're nearly getting into winter. Get the chinos back on, the fans said.
It'll be chilly by the time this game finishes. So it is a lovely day, as Steve just mentioned there. It could be a short stay. My dad has just sent me an emoji of a crocodile, Charlie the Snapper. That's going down well, clearly. Thanks, Steve. We've got a great game in prospect for you here. It's Somerset against Northamptonshire. Northamptonshire have won the toss. They have chosen to bat, and it will be Somerset in the field. So we will see how that goes here on the live stream with you through until the end of this match. Very exciting stuff. Somerset must win. Same for Northamptonshire. They must win. It's a really key game for both these teams. Some good news just coming in there about some money, Steve.
Yeah, I'm hearing that Trade Nation are going to match your £200 from Charlie the crocodile. They're catching from your superb effort. I'm downplaying it, but four catches there, Charlie. That was brilliant. But they're going to match that and also donate a further £200 for my tie, I'm calling it, with Don Best. Even though we played the first ever Super Ball ever played in kind of pseudo professional cricket. We played a Super Ball, which Don won, but we're calling it a tie. So thanks to Trade Nation. So that's £400 that you and I raised for charity this afternoon with our kind of little bit of mischief we had going on out there.
And that's fantastic. It's a bit of fun. I'm sure we'll see the clips again. I've also been told that they've managed to find the full version of the drop catch from Glamorgan that I missed last year. So that I'm sure will be rolled out several times by Steve, who's enjoyed talking about it so far. Well, it looks like Somerset are ready. Max Waller's got the ball in hand, but the Northamptonshire batsmen taking their time to reach the middle.
Sorry to interrupt. Just before we get underway, just a reminder, our charity tonight is the RNLI. I've made numerous references about Somerset's T20 campaign sinking and then being revived, but that has been the case. But don't forget to send us your hashtag, stream in style. Show us where you're watching the game from. It'd be brilliant to see your innovative and humorous tweets and Instagram posts, so please send them to Stream in Style. Tag myself, Steve Stan and Charlie Taylor in those. Also put hashtag follow Trade Nation in there as well. 150 quid is on offer for the best Stream in Style, plus a Babaram Azam shirt. We mentioned the last time it's 31,859 Pakistani rupees is 150 quid. So
have you checked the exchange rates? They haven't changed.
Oh, they might have changed today.
Yeah, got to be careful with that.
So we've got a bit going on, plus the pizza and the TV, etc. to win. But let's concentrate on the cricket. We've got Richard Levi, who's actually played for Somerset before, the South African, and he's going to face Max Waller, who's bowling from the Sir Ian Botham stand-in. It's a huge night in T20 cricket across the nation, but also here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. We're going to kick off first. None of the other games are starting until at least sort of 6:30. So we've got the early kick-off, so to speak, here. But it's Max Waller could bowl the first ball here to Richard Levi, the strong burly South African. And Waller starts well with a dot. He has been on really good form so far, statistically and match impactfulness, Max Waller, in the competition. I think 3 for 18 the last time we saw him on the Sunday, and he's in again this time to Levi. So it looks like a leg spinning ball, and it's just worked away by Levi for a single. He's off the mark. Northants 1 for no wickets.
Yeah, just to confirm about the games going on. There've been a few early kickoffs which have all finished now. So Hampshire against Surrey have won. Kent have beaten Essex. They're going well, Kent. Sussex have beaten Middlesex. We've got one game currently going on in the Northern Division, Durham against Lancashire. 2 5 o'clock kickoffs, Leicestershire and Nottinghamshire, and this game we're watching, and then a couple of late games, Glamorgan against Gloucestershire, and a crucial game for Somerset, Birmingham against Worcestershire. Somerset fans will be hoping Worcestershire will win that one and just hold up Birmingham's progress at the moment. The score is 1 for no loss here at Taunton, to the scoreboard in front of me. Max Waller just getting ready as Sterling will face this ball, the Irish player. In comes Waller over the wicket to Sterling, who just clips this onto the leg side. It'll just be a single.
Yeah, good start from Max Waller. These two are very dangerous players, Levi and Sterling. I've seen them try and take players down all over the competition, so this will be an important first 6 overs, because that's what they look to do, take advantage of the power play. And if you can come out of the power play without going for too many boundaries, then obviously you're in business. As Sterling drives the ball to mid-off, Ollie Sale fields the Honey Badger, Ollie Sale, and there is no run. Levi on 1, Sterling on 1. The Northants Steelbacks are 2 for no wicket, 4 balls gone. Max Waller is in again. It's a bit of an off-spin type delivery, that Waller, who certainly has got plenty of different variations. Not quite Paul Daniels, or but certainly not as attractive as Debbie McGee. But he's certainly no David Blaine either. Hasn't quite got that kind of range of. It's just kind of somewhere in between, isn't it?
Was he a Copperfield maybe?
Yeah, more
like
David Copperfield. Yeah. Not quite as extreme and as brilliantly dangerous as David Blaine, but slightly more exciting than Paul Daniels.
That's an amazing analogy. There we go. We're less than an over in here. So Molly's in. This one I was attempted a 6. There's a shout of catch it. It's not going to be done. And in fact, not too far away from 2 of the Trade Nation boards there. First 6 of the innings. It's off the last ball of that Max Waller over. He'll be disappointed to have leaked that 9 from the first over. It's 9 for no loss. Let's take another look at this. What did Max do wrong here, or what did the batsman do right?
Yeah, it's just a short back of a length delivery. Not a terrible ball, but yeah, Sterling just hanging back in his crease and just depositing that one just in between our 2 Trade Nation signs there. But yeah, that last ball of that over is always a killer, isn't it? If you get a single or a dot there, Max Waller be thinking this is an amazing first over, just 3 or 4 from it. The fact it goes for 9, then actually Northampton think, you know what, we haven't taken a risk there, and we finish with 9 off the first over. So they'll be pretty happy with life. And I think it's that confidence, the batter getting that calmness and that readiness as quickly as possible, getting that anxiety away. As soon as the batters are going, they can just play in back with freedom.
Yeah, it'll be Craig Overton from our end. We're watching from the Marcus Trescothick Pavilion end, the newly named Marcus Trescothick Pavilion. Steve just opens up the sliding doors in front of us, getting a better view for him there. It's Craig Overton, number 7 on his back, bowling to Richard Levi, who has gone through him. That's a lovely looking ball. Levi had to walk away a bit from that one once he put his bat out there. Dangerous looking ball. That's don't fancy facing him in the nets. Neither did you, Steve.
No, I'm engineered the fact that I certainly wasn't facing Craig. We might just see a little bit of away movement from Craig. Just angles a ball in there to the stumps and takes it away. But yeah, I just opened the window there, Charlie. I was thinking, I'm not really seeing this too well, and then just realised that my glasses were on the table, so that might have something to do with it.
He takes them off when he's on screen. In comes Craig, and this one flicked. It could be a catch here. Babar Azam underneath it. Will he catch it? Oh, yes, that's a Charlie Taylor of a catch there. Babar Azam takes the catch, and it's 9 for 1. Richard Levi, I was desperate to say that. Richard Levi has gone, and let's take another look at that one. It hung in the air. In fact, it looked to me like Babar Azam couldn't quite see it properly. He didn't get into the perfect position, had to dive to take it. So here I am giving my my thoughts, my knowledgeable thoughts on catching now. What did you make of that one, Steve?
I'm loving this. So you're linking yourself in, you're catching with Babar Azam, and then you're critically appraising his technique. This is absolutely superb. I love this. This is where we are going tonight. But I tell you what, the prevailing wind from the southwest, as I was very reliably informed from the groundsman earlier, it is quite gusty out there. So Babar Azam, he did a bit of the hokey cokey, he went in, out, not much of a shake it all about, but a bit more of a panic. And then just managed in the nick of time to pick up that kind of depth perception of the ball and like you did earlier, Charlie. Just grab it in.
Let me confirm, it was very breezy out there, almost impossible to take catches, I reckon. It was, seriously, it was breezy.
I think Babar Azam would be happy with 4 from 6, but yeah, great wicket. The dangerous and burly South African Levi has gone, and that's Craig Overton just hitting the pitch hard. It's quite a big square boundary out there, but we have said earlier that we don't want to see too many boundaries go in square, but in comes Overton again, number 7, pounding, and he's back of a length this time. And Paul Sterling, the Irish overseas player, works one way on the onside for a single. It's really interesting to see Sterling as an overseas player, because I do remember the outset of my journey in county cricket, we had Niall O'Brien, William Porterfield, Gary Wilson, and Paul Sterling, Owen Morgan, all playing in county cricket as non-overseas players. And I guess that just evidences the growth of Irish cricket. Now the Test nation, the players are deemed, I want to say something more than worthy, but to actually invest in as overseas players for counties. And obviously from a logistical perspective, this year's probably easier. Some of the other bigger named players aren't able to come in because of transit and logistical problems. But yeah, great to see how Irish cricket has evolved through that period.
Overton in this one, defended forwards. They'll come through for a quick single. Had that been a quicker pickup, that might have been risky there, but in the end they make it through to the single. And this was part of the risk of Ireland becoming a Test nation, was that these county players would have to make a decision whether they wanted to play Test cricket or if they wanted to maybe nationalise as a Brit so they could continue playing county cricket. It was part of that decision, and it's great that forward movement in Irish cricket has happened, and we're seeing players like this get these overseas contracts. Overton's over the wicket again. This one, I think Sterling, to give him the benefit, pulling the bat inside the line of that one, so no run, a dot ball.
Yeah, super over this so far from Craig Overton, just banging and nipping the ball away. Just a little bit, again, away movement from Overton. He gets such bounce when he runs in, and he picks up his knees and just gets that drive over his front leg. It just creates a horrible kind of trampoline style bounce, but also with some lateral movement. He looks very nasty to face indeed as he's in again, this time down the leg side, put the mockers on him there. But you can see why he's the sort of bowler that will be successful at some stage in international cricket, just because of the height he can bowl from, the accuracy he possesses, but also that lateral movement that he can gain from that red and white ball.
Yeah, absolutely ferocious character as well. Put that with his temperament, where he is desperate to take wickets, desperate to stop runs being scored. He's in again now. This one will be exactly what I've just described, a dot ball there. And there is no run. It's 12 for 1. Sterling's on 8 and Cobb on 1, the captain. We should say good evening to our friends in Pakistan watching. We know that Babar Azam already involved very much in this game, helping to take that first wicket. We're expecting to see him bat, hopefully similarly to what he managed in Cardiff on Wednesday, an unbeaten 100 a little bit later on this evening. So good evening to watchers in Pakistan.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum, as we've said a couple of times. Brilliant to have you all here with us. I know there's been a huge amount of interest in Babar Azam being Somerset's overseas player, and we certainly welcome and encourage your interest in the club. We get so many tweets and pictures. Please send them all in. Hashtag #StreamInStyle. Please tag in the club and Charlie Taylor and myself, Steve Snell. There's going to be a change here. Roelof van der Merwe is coming into the attack to bowl the third over of the power play. Josh Cobb on strike for Northamptonshire. He's somebody who's obviously played a huge amount of T20 cricket himself, certainly no stranger to playing here, having represented Leicester, I think it was, before he made the move to Northamptonshire. Josh Cobb on strike to van der Merwe. Outside edge, Azam does the fielding at backward point. He's in speedily, delivers the ball back to van der Merwe. Those of you who have seen the stream on Wednesday night against Glamorgan would have seen an exuberant celebration. There's a great photo of it, as well as he's willing George Bartlett to get off the ground to take a catch. It's one of the shots of the year as Cobb is onto the back foot this time from a straight delivery from van der Merwe. It's worked out to the offside for no run.
Well, we were just mentioning how much Craig Overton loves taking wickets. There can't be too many more than Roelof van der Merwe, desperate for wickets. We've mentioned it already in the group stage, how much he loves taking wickets. He's desperate for a wicket. Every ball, that one played back towards him, it just squeezes under Max Waller, and Ollie Sale does the fielding. And there's no run added. This is good stuff from Somerset so far. 12 for 1, just the 6 so far, if we're talking boundaries that's come from it. That wicket coming off the bowling of Craig Overton as well. Roelof van der Merwe trying to make more inroads here. It's Cobb, the captain, on strike. Northamptonshire, who started really well in this competition, just struggling recently. This one will be a quick single, and the score moving up to 13-1. Yeah, their season just stalling a little bit here, Northamptonshire, in the T20s. They started, it looked like they were going to run away with the group. In fact, it's Gloucestershire who have done that. And Northamptonshire now in the mix among Birmingham Bears and Somerset for that second place. So really interesting to see what will happen here tonight. Remember, third place could be good enough. There'll be 2 third-place teams in the divisions this year who will make it through to the quarterfinals. In comes Roelof van der Merwe. This one is in the air. It'll go over the infield. It'll make its way out towards the boundary to the cover. And in the end, it's Tom Abel who does the fielding. And just the 2 added to the score. 15-1. Remember to tweet us, please, how you're watching tonight. Stream in Style is the hashtag. Stream in Style. Take a picture of where you're watching, how you're watching. Make sure you tag in Somerset CCC at It's Trade Nation. We'd love to see those pictures at Charlie Taylor 4, at Snelly83. Roelof van der Merwe is in. This one is just pushed off towards forwards point. There's no run there. So another good over for Somerset. 15-1 after 3 here.
Yeah, excellent stuff so far from Somerset. There is, I think we're just going to see the 6 from Richard Levi, which was early on in the first over, as Max Waller just dragging one slightly down. Remiss of us not to mention that was a further £50 to the RNLI, who are our chosen charity with Trade Nation this evening. Since then, there hasn't been any more 6s, which is kind of bad news for charity, but good news for Somerset. What we are seeing is a little bit of grip in the wicket. So that over from Roelof van der Merwe, it was very evident there was some grip into the surface, just showing there's a little bit of turn on off, and we've seen a few balls move laterally from Craig Overton, just highlighting potential dryness, and the ball managing to stick into the surface as Overton's in again and doesn't get much of it. Cobb, he's runs away on the onside. Lewis Goldsworthy does the fielding, playing in his first game here at the county ground for Somerset in professional cricket. Great to see him doing so well the other night. Just 6 dot balls in his 38 not out, which I think was remarkable, as we see Craig Overton here. Beautiful action he's got, really tall, and look at his high front left arm there, bowling banging into the pitch. Yeah, just seeing that ball just leave Sterling there. Really good bowling indeed, and this time Sterling's onto the back foot, and it won't push too hard. Wouldn't say scampering feverishly between the wickets is his super strength, Paul Sterling, but he is strong in other areas. But works a good single away there from Craig Overton, takes the score on to 17.
Yeah, and what Northamptonshire have really done well at is batting, is getting scores on the board and defending those, but they really are a good side in T20 cricket, Northamptonshire. They've been in and around the top teams for a long time. This one straight back to Craig Overton, who does manage to get this one onto the stumps. It was too slow back to the non-striker's end to worry the off-strike batsman, but good effort from Craig Overton there, stopping a run. 17-1. This is good and tight bowling from Somerset. And you mentioned there about the movement on the pitch, turn, a bit of grip in there. It's why we'll see so many overs of spin. I'm sure we'll see this evening. Getting those spinners in, getting them involved in the game. This one attempting to push it through the covers, but not really timing it there is Cobb, and there's no run added. The score remains 17-1.
Yeah, they talk about professional cricket, some of the slang you talk about is keeping it dry, where it's almost being dry means not much going on, not much happening. It's positively Sahara out there at the moment, isn't it, with the lack of boundaries on show for Northants, and it's not without intent, and it's been really good bowling. There's been no freebies on offer. We've seen one extra from Craig Overton, a leaky leg side wide, but the rest of it is hit back of a length, just as he's done there on off stump. Cobb's looking to play an attackive shot, can't get it away. Tom Abel working unbelievably hard in that cover position, thumps the ball back into Davis. That the Somerset fielders and the bowlers are setting the tone. They're creating an environment where it's difficult to score runs, and Northants are showing it's not that easy here. And
the fact that pitch is offering a bit there, it brings to mind, it just feels a little bit more like red ball cricket. Not obviously completely, the fielding's very different, but actually the fact that the pitch is offering something, this one clipped onto the leg side by Cobb, it just means that there's something for the bowlers to work with, which sometimes in T20 cricket you just see flat decks which were made for batting. This one is definitely not like that, you'd say, this evening.
Yeah, I agree with that, and generally when there is a bit more on offer for everybody in the game, the matches tend to be a little bit more exciting. Certainly when the spinners are involved in the game, T20 cricket. I watched a little bit of Joe Root the other night against Lancashire, and Joe Root doesn't get an awful lot of credit for his prowess as a T20 batsman, but the way he played spin last night particularly, and he manoeuvred the ball around off the paces and the seamers, was quite phenomenal. Just showed what a high quality player he was, or is, I beg your pardon. Some beautiful shots from Somerset there just on the horizon, but you know, watching Joe Root actually play it on quite a spinning surface and playing so effectively was great for any cricket watcher. And you know, and today, as we just see Cobb just smash Van der Merwe over the top of cover, it wasn't the prettiest looking shot. It was no Claudia Schiffer in terms of supermodels. It was a bit more Dawn French in terms of the I guess depends what you perceive as beauty, Charlie.
So some people would go for the other way around, wouldn't they?
As well, absolutely. But yeah, certainly Josh Cobb getting a bit Dawn French away there.
Well, if it's a
over to you.
If it's a farcical game, we might see French and Saunders together tonight. We'll see. But that one's going to run away for 4 as well. This one just backwards point. It's another strong flash through the ball. Really, nothing too beautiful about it. Let's take another look now. As Cobb here just racking up consecutive boundaries off the bowling of Van der Merwe. Yeah, this one just attempting to flick it through. You think through maybe slightly more forward than he was looking there, but still 4 runs is 4 runs. It was over the infield, which was the key aspect of that one for them. They've got the once you pierce that gap on the offside here, you're on track for a boundary. As this time he plays it straight out to the fielder at mid-off. It's Ollie Sale.
Could have used so many better analogies there, couldn't I? I mean, I could have gone more kind of, you know, local gallery portrait rather than Monet, but you know, I could have gone something far more articulate, Charlie. But let's move on from Dawn anyway. Ollie Sale nearly takes an unbelievable catch there, just at mid-off. The ball was hit just in the vicinity of him, and he took off like a Premier League goalkeeper, like trying to tip one over the bar as Van der Merwe just put his hands to his head. We'll just see a bit here, Ollie Sale, the ball just going up just almost like he was trying to tip one over the bar, Bruce Grobbelaar style. Couldn't quite get a hand on that, Ollie Sale. Really nice shot from Josh Cobb. That was a little bit prettier from Cobb over the top of mid-off. Effective cricket from Josh Cobb, and Northants just starting to come a little bit harder here. They've been boundary starved in the first 4 overs. This over from Van der Merwe, they just started to get a little bit of a wriggle on, which is obviously what they need to do to get a score on the board here.
Yeah, expensive this over so far. Still a ball left to go in this one. 3 boundaries from it so far. Thank you to Charles, who says enjoying Babba's Charlie Taylor 4-esque fielding from Armensbury, he says tonight. So good evening to you there. As this one is pushed forwards into the offside. Just a single. Van der Merwe is crossed with that. Good over for Northamptonshire. 32 for 1 the score now. I think we will have quite a few people keeping an eye on the game from Armensbury, from what I've heard about the M5 so far today. There'll be lots of slow traffic going on. So if you are listening or watching in, maybe in the back of the car with your phone out, good evening to you. Thank you to Kaylee, who says Dexter enjoying watching Somerset tonight. Dexter is some kind of dog. I'm guessing, I've only seen the back of his head. I'm guessing he looks a bit like he could be a golden lab or something there. Thank you, Kaylee, getting in touch. And Paul, enjoying the stream on my TV in Stockholm tonight. So there you go. Thanks very much. Hitting the Swedish area as well. Thank you. Great to hear from you. Stream in style is the hashtag. We love to see your tweets, where you're watching from and how you're watching. And if you've got pets watching as well, always appreciated. It'll be Ollie Sale who will start his first over this evening. Ollie Sale, who the confidence is still in him from the coaches. He's had some overs he'd rather forget. In particular, we can think of one against Birmingham. That last over he came on to bowl was expensive, changed the course of the game. The one he came on to finish off Tom Abel's over, and I think was that against Worcestershire, or against Gloucestershire, wasn't it? That one was expensive as well. So the coach is sticking with him. They know he's got the skills. Can he execute them well here? He's going to come over the wickets. This one is down the leg side, so that one won't count. It's 33 for 1. Is that one signalled a wide?
Yeah, it's quite a big game for Ollie, the Honey Badger / Axel Rose Sale tonight. Feel free to send in any other
you're on form with your analogies tonight, Steve.
Yeah, amended lookalikes for Ollie Sale. I think we've done them fairly to death so far this competition, so we're trying not to rehash any of them. As Sale is in again, this time is into Sterling, who just puts the ball away on the onside fairly easily, but not too aggressively. But I think you're right, Charlie. This is a big game for Ollie Sale, that the coaches and Lewis Gregory has indeed showed a lot of faith in him during this competition. He's been a bit topsy-turvy in terms of his form. Some really strong games where he's bowled with high pace, really good intensity and affected the game. Others where he's kind of been offline and actually affected the game in the way that he wouldn't like to. And particularly himself and Tom Abel against Gloucestershire had a really tough outing, didn't they? But this time it's worked brilliantly by Josh Cobb. That's a really good ball by Ollie Sale, just back of a length, and Cobb used his wrist expertly, used the pace of the ball, ran the ball down towards the Sir Ian Botham stand boundary. That was really nice batting by Josh Cobb. And I think someone who's played a lot of T20 cricket will understand they don't have to beat the ball. They don't have to turn the ball into some kind of mush to score runs. The touch as well as the velocity of strike, it can be equally as important. And a combination of both is very, very dangerous. But Sale won't be too unhappy with that delivery, but perversely he'll be not happy with that one. It's a leg side wide, it's the second one of the over. The old Wrigley's extras, they'll hurt you.
Yeah, this is a shame for Somerset. They can't really afford it. They had an expensive over from Roland van der Merwe before this. A few boundaries coming in that one. A couple of wides and a boundary already in this one from Ollie Sale. It's 39 for 1. This is the last over in the power play. So if it could be a tight over, actually, you'd say Somerset wouldn't be too disheartened by that. But a couple of more boundaries here, and it's looking a bit more like Northamptonshire's. This one is slogged over the mid-wicket area. That one is going to go for 4. That's a good shot from Cobb. 39 will move to 43 for 1. Cobb's on 25 now. Let's have another look at that one. Just playing it over the inner circle on the leg side. Yeah, making space for himself, clearing that leg. Get it over there.
Yeah, I don't think this has been the worst over in terms of the boundaries from Ollie Sale. That's a good shot from Cobb, giving himself some room and taking advantage of the space which is behind the fielders in the power play. Just 2 men allowed outside the circle. As this time Cobb is onto his toes and just runs the ball away towards the Colin Atkinson pavilion for a single. Yeah, so apart from the misdirected wides, I don't think Ollie Sale will be too perturbed about the boundary he's gone for. They've been good attacking cricket from Cobb, and also talked about that deftness of touch. But it's about finishing the over well when you're under pressure. Certainly T20 cricket. A couple of boundaries here, all of a sudden, what looked like a decent power play for Somerset get above the over the 50 mark, and Northampton feel as though they've played some enterprising and positive and proactive cricket. And of course another wicket, and Somerset will feel as though they're ahead of the game. Another single from Paul Stirling. I've been surprised about his tempo so far. 14 runs off 11 balls, no falls, just that 1-6. Normally I associate his game with some far more threatening style behaviour rather than almost the singles and working the ball around to the larger square boundaries. But maybe he'll start to be a bit more aggressive as time progresses. A Sale this time is short, not much pace in the wicket at all. The fielders are pushed back to the edge of the circle, and that's an easy single to Josh Cobb. So that's the end of the power play, which the umpires are just acknowledging to everybody. 46 for 1 of the Northants Steelbacks. We're just looking at our streaming style. I think it was Chris Anderson who's there on his bike in his NHS shirt, I think, watching the cricket there. I'm enjoying that, Chris, and he's got some stumps and some bats there as well. So if you kind of, you like what you see there from Chris, but you think you can better that with some innovative pictures, or I guess fairly niche and unique, then please send in with a hashtag streaming style. Win 150 quid or 31,859 Pakistani rupees. We will put that into any currency.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really great to see where you're watching from and how you're watching, and if you're fit like Chris, obviously on the exercise bike whilst watching, taking after you there, Steve. Always thinking of the fitness. You were spotted out running this morning, weren't you?
Well, I wouldn't want to say, obviously, kind of, since the... I tell you what, my life has changed, Charlie, actually, since I've doing this this commentary gig, the presenting, whatever. All of a sudden, people are tweeting me saying, I saw you out running this morning. I've got Mr. Essie sending me hair products. He sent you some salt spray, Charlie, as well, didn't he?
This is great, yeah.
So if you want to look like Charlie and myself, obviously, with some hair products, obviously we must look like the kind of dashing, handsome young men that people want to look like.
Or he saw us and thought, goodness me, they need some hair product.
I think that's more likely. But yeah, absolutely. All of a sudden, people start throwing free stuff at us. Well, what's happening, Charlie? The world has changed for us commentators here. But Lewis Goldsworthy is into the attack. First ball's just gone for a single, and again he's worked away on the onside for another single. But what an impressive T20 debut he had the other day. He didn't just come in to the game and play a bit part role. He dominated the game with Bubba Azam. He's a young player. He's not supposed to come in and do that. The young Cornishman, brilliant.
Well, it was great, wasn't it? Because we saw Will Smead do the same in the previous game here at Taunton. As this one is head over Lewis Goldsworthy's head. That's a good shot from Cobb, although it's not a terrible ball from Goldsworthy, forcing Cobb to take on the spin. And the score now 52-1. Let's take another look at that one. But we saw Will Smead hit 82 in the game previously, then Lewis Goldsworthy do well before. What would you tell us about Lewis? Is he a true all-rounder by the looks of things, batting and bowling?
Yeah, absolutely is. Just what a shot that was by Cobb, by the way. Just not over-hitting the ball, just getting the bat face. You'd have heard me talk throughout this competition about getting the bat face through the ball, and Josh Cobb did that with ease, style and class. A really smooth shot from a seasoned T20 campaigner. Goldsworthy in again, just gives it a bit of a tweak and dives full length, trying to stop that single down the ground. But yeah, Lewis Goldsworthy, definitely genuine all-rounder. Certainly I think I would have him slightly stronger in the batting stakes, but in white ball cricket, very, very accurate. He's a very good mover as well in the field. The lad's, his nickname is Messi. And he was actually at Plymouth as a young man, as a footballer, Lewis, as he's in again, takes the pace off the ball to Sterling, who surprisingly hasn't hit any boundaries apart from that 1-6 that he got away earlier. He's on to 16 off 13 deliveries. But yeah, he was at Plymouth, so I don't think he's quite called the Plymouth Messi. The lads just call him Messi because in the football warm-ups, which the boys love and they're not allowed to have anymore, he would literally be putting rings around people. There's another dot ball, I think, as Van der Merwe fields brilliantly at short cover. But there'll be bodies everywhere. It'll be a scene from like one of the really bad prisoner of war films. Just people strewn all over the ground as Lewis just slots the ball into the net and runs off kind of very unassumingly. So he's certainly a very good mover. But yeah, glad that he decided, or Plymouth decided, that cricket was for him and not football. But I think he's got a long and exciting career ahead of him, definitely.
One of those frustratingly talented sportsmen by the sounds of it in whatever he turns his hand to. Just seeing there, Somerset, one of the most attacking sides in the middle overs during T20s, which is could come as good use for them in this game. 54-1. Good partnership building here so far. The partnership is worth 45. Cobb on 33 of those and Sterling on 16. It'll be Max Waller on for his second over now, coming from the opposite end. As he's into this one to Sterling, and it's punched through the offside, and there will be just a single added, so 55 the score now for just the one wicket.
It's been very measured so far. We just see some of the people in the, I think, the retirement flats. I think that's a fair enough way of describing, or what we say, the houses to our left-hand side. As we look, if you're not retired and you're still working, then maybe you should be living there. You're committing fraud, I think, is the
calling out people for fraud. I love it.
I don't know whether this is certainly not the club's view, but if you're actually selling a few tickets to people who are retired, that would be quite a smart way of committing fraud on those balconies. But if you're up there, give us a wave. Charlie and I are absolutely loving bringing you the cricket tonight, as Waller is in again. It's an off-spinning delivery, and it's hit down the ground by Stella. It's a really curious approach so far from Northants, because they're playing effectively and efficiently, but I'd certainly like to see a bit more threat and look to them to try and take the game to Somerset, because I think they're just kind of coasting a little bit here. They're on autopilot and down the M5 as Waller hits Cobb on number 4 on the pad. Yeah, they're cruising up the M5 towards Weston-super-Mare. They're on, you can drive at 70. They're on 58 mile an hour.
Yep, I don't think you could drive at 70 today, judging from the looks of it. But yeah, I could completely agree with you. Let's see, but his space made here. Oh, Waller has gone straight into his hand. He looks at his hand. It is his bowling hand he's looking at there, but I think he's going to be okay. Cool, that was a fierce return from Sterling.
Well, he did have a broken thumb, which meant he could have missed the start of this. It was actually my fault. It was during a fielding practice with me where I broke it, but hopefully it's a different thumb. You can just see him wincing, and it's the worst feeling. You might have had this earlier, Charlie. I know you got a blister on your finger from Charlie's charity catch, but finger just ends up pulsing. You just feel the blood just rushing around it and trying to protect it, but it's already too late.
All 10 are doing that at the moment for me after taking those catches. In comes Waller, and this one played nicely straight back. A bit of an on-drive, checked on-drive if you like, and Craig Overton does the fielding, and Cobb moves to 35, the score 59-1.
You don't play the piano, Charlie, do you?
I've got, you know what, I don't properly play the piano. I like the piano, but I won't be playing it for the next few weeks, put it that way.
You're playing it with your left hand,
yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, that's just as bad.
But yeah, as we mentioned, 8 overs gone here, 59 for 1. We'll be looking at some of the streaming style hashtags from Trade Nation in a little while. So send us your shots. You're innovative and humorous and also functional. Show us where you're watching from. We've had tweets from everywhere in the world, from Timbuktu to Karachi to Weston-super-Mare. We know you're all watching. We've had so much interest and engagement.
Thank you very much to Mohammed Assad, who says, just going for a shower, can't miss a ball, so I take my laptop with me in the bathroom so I don't miss the live action. I know it's funny, but I love cricket and Baba is more important. Come on, Somerset win today, he says. And he sent a picture of us looking pretty naked. So thanks very much for that. That's as nude as we want. Thank you. As Lewis Gregory is into the attack. This one beats the back, goes straight through to the keeper. Lovely looking ball from Lewis Gregory. Have you seen that tweet? Do you want me to show it to you, Steve? It's lovely. Mohammed Assad, he's in his bathroom there, I think probably in Pakistan.
I'm not sure I want to watch that, but what I will say, in the interest of balance, I talked a bit earlier about Michelle Pfeiffer and Dawn French in terms of Josh Cobb, but also, just in the interest of balance, it was a little bit more David Brent rather than Brad Pitt.
Who? Mohammed here, yeah.
I'm just getting a few tweets about equality, that's all, Charlie.
In comes Lewis Gregory, beats the bat again, getting some good movement here for Steve Snell. He's trying to get himself back in the game after some chats about supermodels, which I think he's regretting. Let's take a look back at some of these. This drop catch. We're going to see this from Waller. Just see how quickly it came back to him. Look at that. Ferocious speed. Ouch.
Waller has said to me before, if it's in the air, it's out. So I'm definitely counting that as a drop. I've actually got a signed photo in my office of him. As that is absolutely bludgeoned up. It's nearly taken one of the ball boys out, one of the pathway ball boys, up by the Cooper Associates mortgage billboard up there. What a shot that is from Sterling. I mentioned that he'd been quite measured so far in his approach. We're just going to have a look at this. So watch how Sterling just picks up the length so quickly, keeps his hands high. Bosh, that's gone all the way. Doesn't even need to attempt at a single. That just mission the Trade Nation board through as well. Take Sterling on to 25 from 19 delivery. It's just his second boundary. That's 50 quid more to the RNLI, which is, of course, good news for charity. Lewis Gregory not looking as impressed with that donation. That is for sure, but as the ball is still making its way back.
Thank you to Kaylee, who's confirmed that Dexter, I said it maybe looks like a bit like a golden lab, couldn't see the size of him. He's a Frenchie crossed with a beagle, so he's only a very small thing. But wearing his Somerset hat with pride. Thank you very much, Kaylee, for extending us that one. And the ball is
this is interesting.
Totally gone missing. Can we get a zoom in on what's going on in the flat? I want to see just how. Here we go. Let's see who's got it there. Is it you, sir? Can you find it there?
Let's see what's going on in these flats as well. Maybe that's a new Ben Warren innovation, the flat cam.
Flat cam? Is it in your potted plants there, sir? I don't know, madam. What are you? Can you see
Look
it
like
there
your
as well?
roses just need a little bit of watering there, madam, in the green top there.
That's it. Just sort that out there. You can see how tidy their living rooms are. If we look. Is that too far? That's it. Look at the top there. They're the penthouse. Did it go that far high? I don't think it was that. It was a bit of a flat batted six, wasn't it? They're having a look. They're looking down. I see. They're looking down for it.
They're all the people that have paid to be up there.
They're the ones looking down on everyone from up there. Let's face it. If you're in the penthouse. Oh, good stuff. But what the upshot is, we still haven't got a ball here to play with. You can see all the ball boys in the stands looking around. Did we get a replay? Did we manage to see? Because we might be able to help them out here if we manage to find a replay of exactly where it went. We'll see if we can fish one out for them. But it's still. Look at this still. Like little ants going up and down the terraces there, looking for the ball. In the meantime, we're getting a box of balls on the pitch. Actually, the umpire in Blackwell is looking through a box of new balls. We've got a new ball here, ladies and gentlemen. We can finally get back on with the game. We can turn off flat cam now that that's been sorted out, and hopefully that couple can sort out how their roses and the other potted plants they've got up there. Was there a bicycle I saw up there as well? Some sort of wagon wheel or something up there. Don't know what use you'd have for a bicycle up on a balcony like that.
Got a few more tweets coming in. Oliver Sparrow got Bubba's runner sorted. Hashtag Steam and Style. He's in his pads and his kit, his Somerset kit, watching the telly. John Hayes is in his lounge too, lining up the drinks. It is Friday night. Not going to ask what's in that cup there, John. Mr. Faz, as usual, I'm watching on YouTube. Tom Field again. Ollie Sale. I'm not going to put hashtag pie. That's not very nice, Tom. As Lewis Gregory bowls a wide, which isn't gathered by Steve Davis there. But Ollie Sale has to sweep that one up.
Let's take a look at that shot again, shall we? He's picked that up so well. Look, the ball follow. Can we see it in there? Where did it land? Oh, hello! It's gone in the top right there, I think. Goodness knows. Either way, we still haven't got it back.
I'll go and find it later and put it in the academy ball bag. We could do with some more white balls for our fixtures this weekend. As this time Gregory hits the ball right in the slot. Cobb just looking to lace that one away for the offside. Doesn't manage to get hold of it, and it's a dot ball. Dot balls are like gold in T20 cricket. So precious, aren't they? That buried treasure. The more of it you can get, the better. Not that I've ever found any buried treasure.
The other thing that Somerset will be desperately hoping for here is wickets now. 9th over, just the one down. It's good stuff from Northamptonshire. It's a partnership building nicely for these two. 58 so far. In comes Lewis Gregory. This one's high. That one looks like it'll go for 6 as well. It's in the river perhaps. A massive shot into the river. Another huge 6. Another £50 for the RNLI. And Cobb moves to 41. The score 73 for 1 now. Let's take another look at that. The second 6 in this over from Lewis Gregory. The second one that we're going to have to go fishing for a new ball.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a particularly big hit to that side. New balls, please, was a call from Ian Blackwell. So we're not at Wimbledon. That was cancelled this year, unfortunately. But that was, I think we need a few more of those. The way that Josh Cobb is swinging takes him on to 41, not out of 28 deliveries. I'm slightly surprised that Lewis Goldsworthy didn't bowl a second over. Just 8 runs went from his over, and one of them was an excellent shot down the ground from Cobb. So I'm slightly surprised that Goldsworthy didn't bowl that over again. But Gregory's got himself in a bit of a pickle. He's gone for 14 already off the first 5 balls. This is going to be a pretty hefty over. You think Cobb's certainly going to look to target this last ball of the over too. And the Steelbacks are on to 73 for 1. This is a big cry from the Somerset fielders. Come on, boys, let's get going again. And this is a big ball from Lewis Gregory. He's in, and this time Cobb fails to beat the inner ring. Van der Merwe is in, saving the one, and Lewis Gregory gets out of that over, but there's been some collateral damage there, that's for sure. Yeah,
Lewis Gregory, captain, will be disappointed with his input there. 2 6s off the over, another £100, which is great for the charity. We've seen Trade Nation advert there. They're giving money, 50 quid for every 6, 25 pounds for every 4, and £250 if a Northamptonshire player hits these Trade Nation boards, 8 of them around the ground. £500 if a Somerset player manages to do it in the second innings tonight. So we'll be keeping our fingers crossed for plenty of 6s from Somerset.
Kate Ray has mentioned Snelly 83. What do you have against David Brent? No, big fan of Brent. If you listen to my commentary for the last sort of 5 games, you'll hear kind of plenty of similarities, I'm sure. Pete Arthur, is flat cam checking for rule of 6?
Goldsworthy's in
this
one.
Driven down the ground as Goldsworthy got a wicket. Max Waller's underneath it. It's going to take the catch. If it's in the air, it's out. Max Waller said before. Well, that time it is certainly out as Waller just kicks that one back to Lewis Goldsworthy. The Plymouth Messi has got another wicket. He flighted it up there. He got a bit of shape, a bit of drop, a bit of curve, but it wasn't one of his free kicks, Charlie. It was a superb bit of bowling. Flighted all the way to Max Waller. Took an easy catch. 73 for 2. The dangerous, robust, rotund Sterling is out. He's gone for 25. Somerset needed that wicket.
Yeah, they certainly did. That partnership was building nicely, although if you'd had the choice of the 2 batsmen, you would have chosen the other one to get out. Cobb, who's there on 41, but still, it's a great wicket to have. You can only get out the batsman that you're bowling to, really. So, I mean, there are some unusual circumstances, of course, in cricket, but as a bowler, you managed to get the man out that you're bowling to. So a great change there as Lewis Goldsworthy comes on from the opposite end. He bowled his first over to and takes a wicket first ball, 73 for 2. And Somerset just pulling their way back into this game after an expensive over from Lewis Gregory. 41 Cobb is on at the moment, not out. Sterling was out for 25. Still 11 overs, or just under 11 overs now left in this innings.
Well, I'm actually a bit disappointed that Rossington and Sterling weren't batting together, because I had a good story actually, because I know that when both of them used to play for Middlesex together, their nickname, I think they used to open batting in the 2s, and their nickname was the Mitchell brothers, because they both had quite aggressive beards and they used to bully second team attacks. So they used to be called the Mitchell brothers around the county circuit, which is quite funny. That's brilliantly fielded by the Plymouth Messi, Lewis Goldsworthy, diving away to his left-hand side. That's a dot ball. The batter's across, so Josh Cobb is on strike, which of course good practice to do that while the ball is in the air. Lewis Goldsworthy just showing why he's been entrusted with the ball, and I guess the confidence of Lewis Gregory and Jason Kerr. That's another dot ball. He's bowled 9 balls here for just 8 runs. Lewis Goldsworthy just really tightening and turning the screw here. He's in again past umpire Russell Warren, and this time, oh my goodness, Cobb's given himself some room, and Goldsworthy followed him down the leg side. The ball's gone for wides, which can add 3 to the score. That's unlucky that from Goldsworthy, because he was watching the batter and he tried to adapt his ball. Just went a little bit too straight.
It is tough on bowlers, that leg side rule, especially when a batsman moves so much like that to the leg side. I feel like it's tough on a bowler, especially for someone like Lewis Goldsworthy, only playing in his second professional match. Of course, you can't have rules for one and rules for others, but certainly you wouldn't say it was a bad ball that was bowled there at all. He was trying to follow the batsman, and actually the batsman missed it rather than left it on the leg side. So that one is going to be a dot ball as well. So he's come back well there, Lewis Goldsworthy, after he'd been disappointed on that leg side wide. Just the 1 ball left in this over, 76 for 2. And it'll be Goldsworthy in. Last ball of this, it'll take us to the halfway point. It's lofted. There'll be a chance, no there won't, for a catch, because it's gone for 6. It's a nice looking shot. It's a shame in that over for Lewis Goldsworthy, but it's another nice looking drive for 6.
Well, Boris Johnson has talked with us all about the rule of 6. Okay, when you have an over where you have 7, it means you can't do that. You can only have 6. You need to bowl 6, Lewis. You bowl those wides, those extras. The Wrigley's extras are going to hurt you. The rule of 6 is there for a reason. Don't bowl any extras. Big last ball.
Disappointing. That will be disappointing for Lewis Goldsworthy, who's done well. 82 for 2. Just a reminder, half-time we'll be doing the competition, the streaming style competition, where we'll be giving away our last flat-screen TV, 50-inch TV, pizza and Thatchers as well. We've been giving it away at the half-time breaks and all these home games that we've been doing. All you've got to do, if I ring you, if you've signed up to the competition, if I ring you at half-time, or the interval, all you've got to do is pick up and say the words, "How's that, Trade Nation?" If you say, "How's that, Trade Nation?" first thing you say, don't say hello, don't say anything else, "How's that, Trade Nation?" and you will win yourself a TV, pizza and the Thatchers as well.
Yeah, what a competition. We've had some very happy customers so far already. I know James, who's associated with Trade Nation, has been delivering those products with gusto. They're very quick turnaround on those products as well, which is superb. Also, just a reminder, our streaming style, send in your pictures. Hashtag streaming style of where you're watching from tonight, as Roelof van der Merwe is back into the attack and starts with a beautifully flighted left arm spinner, and he dives and fields off his own bowl, and he has to take a knee there as he wins himself. He's one of the toughest of characters, Roelof van der Merwe. He certainly wouldn't be whinging about his fingers like you, Charlie, after those catches earlier. Charlie Taylor's catching challenge, as if Roelof is hurt, you know he's hurt.
Just to repeat, I caught 4 out of 6 there. 4 out of 6. £200 for charity. Just I mean, that's why my fingers hurt. So, tough job.
He is wringing his fingers, actually, Van der Merwe. I think he's hurt his fingers. Maybe he just caught them in the ground. As Van der Merwe again, it's neatly played on the offside by Rossington, just getting back and away from the ball. Babar Azam, our Pakistani hero, does the fielding. But if you're just joining us, big news today. Charlie Taylor raised £200 for charity. Charlie's charity catch. He was taking some catches from Somerset assistant coach Paul Tweddle. Trade Nation kindly donated £50 a catch. We won't talk about the 2 he dropped. Just celebrate the 4 that he caught. Roelof van der Merwe is in again, and Cobb just very smoothly collects another single out on the onside. But also, I was in action myself against Dom Bess, England international. I had to score 11 off his over to win, and I managed to get 10. So we had an honourable draw, and Trade Nation donated another £200. So that's £400 we raised for charity this afternoon, as this time Rossington works the ball away on the offside and there's no run.
I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but there was a call of 2 which Dom Bess pointed out. A call of 2 where you hit one straight to mid-wicket, you would have been caught, absolutely, and if it wasn't caught, it was only 1. So yeah. I think you're stretching it here, Steve, that it was a tie on 10.
Well, one of the things that I will say in my defence, for people who were listening earlier, is this time Rossington gives himself some room and hits the ball away on the offside. But again, not a huge amount of intent from Rossington there, as Babar Azam does the fielding. I was talking about how Joe Root, it's not all about massive shots, big 6. It's about working the ball around, manipulating the field, getting your 1s and your 2s. It can't all be jelly and ice cream rockstar cricket, Charlie, can it? You've got to do the tough stuff that people don't see. Or do see when you plink it to the mid-wicket. As Van der Merwe again this time, a bit more pace on the ball. Cobb again happy to collect another single. Northampton on 86 for 2. That's 11 overs gone. Cobb on 49. Rossington on 2. Sterling was gone. Caught Waller bowled Goldsworthy for 25. Levi caught Azam, bowled Overton for 2.
just to say there, you say that some bits of cricket that people don't see. Well, let's see that bit of cricket. Look at that. It's gone into the air. Barely leaves the inner circle here. In fact, it doesn't. This is the one which has gone out on the offside. What is that? The Super Ball, isn't it?
That was the Super Bowl. I needed 2 to win, so rather than play, I talked to my academy lads about playing smart, adaptable cricket. What I did is I went for a death or glory shot and tried to hit the ball into the churchyard.
That ball nearly went as high up in the air as some of those catches I was taking. There was nothing. There was no runs on that one.
That's the sort of cricket. If anyone's been down to Bedminster this season and watching me play, that's the sort of approach to the game I take.
Waller's in.
I'm sure people don't want to hear about my batting anyway. As Max Waller dives brilliantly away and stops a certain 2. That was great fielding by Max Waller. He's been superb in this competition so far. 2 overs for 14 from Max Waller with his variety of leg spin googlies and kind of off spin straight honors. We've talked about Daryl Mitchell about having the spin or seam. We talked about earlier, didn't we? Max Waller. He's no Paul Daniels, but he's no David Blaine. We had David Copperfield.
Here he is, Mr. Copperfield, in over the wicket. And this one just played out into the onside where there's no run. It's collected by the captain, Lewis Gregory. 86 for 2. Cobb getting into the nervous 40s here, struggling to get slowly from 48 to 49, looking for that 50th run. This one is a big appeal. It looks a bit leg side to me, and that is a leg by added to the total. So he'll have to wait for his 50. It's 87 for 2 now, the score.
Just 1 run off the first 4 balls of this over. Rossington as well, he's faced 4 balls for 2 runs. He's going to have to get a bit of a lick on here, Rossington, as he's somebody who can, if the ball, he hits it, it certainly stays it. He's somebody who's very capable of finding the ropes and without bouncing, indeed. But Max Wallaby do everything he can to curb that, as Rossington gives himself some room, hits the ball out to long on, straight to Craig Overton, number 7, who takes the simplest of catches. Max Waller celebrates relatively calmly and relatively sedately, given some of the celebrations we've seen over the past few years. But yeah, pace off the ball from Rossington. He knew that he needed to hit a boundary. He went leg side. He sat deep, but he'd be pretty disappointed with his execution. And smart cricket though. You've got one of your tallest players that long on, Craig Overton. But even if you had one of your shortest players, they would have caught that.
Yeah, that one was a pretty simple catch for Overton. Waller, as you say, muted celebrations really here, making the love heart sign above his head. We've seen that a couple of times this season. Just to look at some of those players now. They're getting ready to bring in the next ball. As there's still 1 ball left in this one. Coming up after this over, we will see the live footage from our drone cam. So we will see just what it's like hovering over the ground here through this well, it's a very pleasant September afternoon. So it's coming up after this ball, as it'll be the new batsman coming to the crease ready to face this one.
Certainly enjoying the cricket so far and enjoying the performance from Somerset. Really looking forward to the drone cam. There's been absolute plethora of new initiatives that have been introduced by Ben Warren and Dan Cooper this season. I hope everyone at home has enjoyed the production that's put together. We tried to go through the permutations earlier as Proctor works on the leg side for a single. What a superb over that was by Max Waller, by the way. I think just 2 runs from that as we go live to the drone cam. We can see the beautiful, resplendent town of Taunton. I was going to say city then, but not quite. Town of Taunton. And floodlights not on because obviously we're starting very early. We thought we'd save a little bit on the lecky tonight. Well, they are on actually. I've got my glasses on as well, but maybe we're not saving on the lecky tonight.
The last game, just use it all up. May as well. Look at that, beautiful views over
put it all on the meter. But I was trying to work out the permutations of what needs to happen for home quarterfinals, and I've gone with the very simple. Just try and win tonight's game, and then we'll look at it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. If Somerset don't win tonight, then there's no point looking. There's no way they'll get their home quarter-final. Somerset really need to, it's in their hands. They win both these games, Somerset are in the quarter-finals. It could be a home quarter-final, unlikely.
I think, as well, if we win both these games, we do need Warwickshire or Birmingham, I beg your pardon, to lose one. And this is where, again, I'll start talking absolute junk. But I think that's, you need Birmingham to lose one of them. But like you said, if we don't win this game, then it's certainly not worth talking about whatsoever. The Plymouth Messi is into the attack, and this time the ball is hit away horribly to leg side boundary. It's going to be a chance for catch. It's brilliantly caught. It's taken by Van der Merwe. The soft signal is out by Russell Warren, the square leg umpire. It was a horrific drag down of a delivery from Lewis Goldsworthy. We talked about him being the Plymouth Messi, but that was more Yeah, well, that certainly wasn't in kind of the realms of Le God style football, but Van der Merwe ran in there, he misjudged that horribly, and then he thought, do you know what? There's 700,000 people watching Somerset's live stream, I'm going to put on a bit of a show here. And actually ran in forward and then dived backwards, made a complete meal of it, and now it looks brilliant on camera.
Great for the cameras. As far as technique goes, and trust me, I'm a man in the know with this now. That wasn't what you teach, I guess, Steve, to your academy students. But taking the catch, a catch is a wicket.
Yeah, if it's out, it's out. That's the thing. The result is the key thing, isn't it? Certainly. But that was really poor execution there from Cobb. Big wicket, going on 49 as well. He'd actually played nicely, but yeah, it was a shocking delivery that from. It was certainly more left back rather than forward there from Lewis Goldsworthy. That was a shoddy piece of bowling, but the result was good, which is what it's all about. And
well, there's a saying, isn't there, that sometimes the worst balls bring you the wickets. I suppose the batsman's eyes light up and they play shots that they wouldn't or shouldn't be playing. So yeah, it wasn't a great looking shot, it wasn't a great looking ball, it wasn't a great looking catch, let's be honest, really, technique wise. Who was the winner there? Somerset Eventual, the team won it as they took the wicket rather than cricket itself. 90 for 4. Somerset really back in this now. Those 4 wickets, those 2 recent ones that have happened here. Catches looking very good as Goldsworthy's in again. This one defended by Wakely. And there is no run added. Somerset looking to keep this pressure up on Northamptonshire.
Yeah, spin to win it. Lewis Goldsworthy, he's been absolutely sensational again. I did say that was a poor delivery. It's the only poor delivery he's bowled, and the irony is that the one who picks up the wicket as Cobb failed to execute that. This time it's a good-looking shot through the offside by Alex Wakely. Azam does the fielding, but Lewis Goldsworthy has been an absolute revelation in the Somerset side, coming in batting at 5 and offering that option as a third spinner. It's absolutely balanced the side, and I guess made it easier to decide what seamers to bowl or not during the course of the evening. If we look so far, Ollie Sale just bowled the 1 over as Goldsworthy rushes Proctor, attacks both sides of the bat. Van der Merwe attempts a run out, so well gathered by Davis, but Sale's just bowled the 1 over. Now Max Waller's got his 3 overs bowled. Craig Overton's bowled 2 overs for 6, and there's just a bit of flex on whether Gregory or Ollie Sale, they'll probably make up that 5th bowler, because you're going to get 4 overs from Goldsworthy the way he's bowling at the moment. He's 2 for 21 off 3. It's been absolutely superb.
Let's just take a look at that huge 6 that was smashed by Cobb, wasn't it, into the river. Look at the timing right out of the meat of the bat as well, and that one flying over the mid-wicket boundary area for 6 into the river. It'll be Max Waller continuing. This one is played out towards mid-off, and that one had their binner fielder in, would have taken a catch. It's Overton picking up on the boundary in the deep, and it's just the 1 run added. Thank you to Joy, who's been in touch on Twitter, who sent me a picture and said Lewis Gregory's granddad watching in from Cyprus. We've got a picture of Lewis Gregory's granddad, and a picture as well, a framed picture of Lewis Gregory celebrating what looks like 100 as well, as if that was the proof that it is Lewis Gregory's granddad. So hello to the Gregory family, and to any of Lewis's and other players' family members not able to be here but watching along the stream. This one pushed forwards onto the onside. Craig Overton will be in use again here as he comes in from the boundary to field that and return it to Max Waller. The score is 94 for 4. We mentioned the nervous 40s. Actually, Cobb did begin to look a bit nervous. He played so well up until that point and then was unable to do anything. This one played out onto the leg side, swept nicely for 4. £25 added to the RNLI fund, which Trade Nation are going to be donating to today. We know there's already £400 in there. Let's take another look at that shot as Proctor, the left-hander, swept nicely through, and 4 runs the total. This one played onto the onside. There will just be a single here as an attempt at a run out from Lewis Gregory, and in the end missing the stumps, but would have been tight. So score 99 for 4 now. Wakely on 2, Proctor's up to 10. We're into the 14th over, and Waller is in over the wicket again to Wakely this time. He plays a nice looking drive for a single down to Craig Overton, who can't seem to avoid the ball at the moment, coming to him a lot. And that's the one penultimate ball on in this over. Still got another one to go. It'll be the left-handed Proctor on strike now.
You know that but me by now, Charlie, I love a niche tweet, but there's the World Cup of UK towns and cities, which is happening at the moment, and there's a playoff as Proctor defends away on the offside and scampers through for a single. Ollie Sale does the fielding. There's a World Cup of UK towns and cities, and Bury from Greater Manchester and Taunton are taking on each other today on an online poll, and it's currently 51%, 49% in favour of Taunton. So feel free to vote and retweet for the World Cup of UK towns and cities and vote for Taunton, as we're going to have a look at that catch again as Cobb only described that as a horrible hack to the leg side, and maybe I was a bit harsh on Roelof van der Merwe. It looked like he's judged that a little bit better than I've described it, and it was a excellent catch in the end.
Well, he came in from the boundary, didn't he, as if he thought it was coming shorter to him, and then realised maybe the breeze carried it or something. Realised he'd come in a bit too far, so had to leap to get it. Anyway, the final point is that it is a wicket. Proctor on strike to this Lewis Gregory ball as this one's driven onto the onside. And there'll be just the 1 run from it. The 100 is up. It's 102 for 4. Into the 15th over now, nearly 3/4 of the way through this innings.
Tweet from Thomas Shelby. There's Thomas Shelby from the Peaky Blinders. Goldsworthy with the golden arm. He says, hashtag streaming style. I like that one. Thomas Shelby. I don't think it's the real Thomas Shelby, but he has got a flat cap on in his picture.
Yeah, picking up wickets again this time. Lewis Goldsworthy, as he did in Cardiff on Wednesday night, as Lewis Gregory's in. This one tucks up the batsman. There's no run. Well bowled into the body of Alex Wakely. And there's no run, which is the crucial thing for Somerset. Another dot ball.
Loads and loads of tweets coming in. Lewis Goldsworthy smashed it with the bat and ball the other day, now doing the job with the ball. Beautifully caught by van der Merwe. £775 so far raised for charity, courtesy of Trade Nation towards the RNLI. I'm not sure whether that includes the £400 that Charlie Taylor and myself raised earlier. Maybe you can confirm that for us next door, as Lewis Gregory Yorker is dug out by Wakely. The left foot of Gregory, very, very effective indeed, hits the stumps, but Proctor manages to get home. And Steve Davis, who loves his football, he's having a little giggle himself as Gregory and Davis just smirk into each other. See the execution of the Yorker, brilliant from Gregory, and then the left foot just knock into the bottom corner, pretty effective as well.
Yeah, he wouldn't have had much more than one stump to aim at there, Lewis Gregory. Clearly a talented footballer. In fact, we see this with Lewis a couple of times. You see him come to kick the ball when it's a race head on with the off-strike batsman and the bowler, and usually he's pretty good at hitting the stumps using his foot rather than his hands there. In the end, the batsman was safe. They came through for the single. It's Proctor on 12. Steelbacks 103 for 4. Proctor this time trying to pull it, didn't quite get all of it. It's an under edge. It'll go through to Ollie Sale, who's done the fielding there, and it's just a single added on. So 105 for 4. The score here at Taunton. Somerset desperate for a win, and so far you'd say not doing too badly. Yeah, here in this game, bringing back the runs.
Tempt fate, sorry Charlie, but Somerset have been so much better with the ball than they were the last time we saw them here on Sunday. I think it seems like an absolute age ago. It's only 5 days. As Gregory this time bowls a ball that hit the top of the stump. Tom Abel was super fast, throws the ball at the keeper's end, just a single. Will Smead, we haven't mentioned him too much tonight. He enjoyed batting here last Sunday. But Somerset have been far more effective in terms of their skill execution tonight. They've bowled far less offline deliveries, made Northampton work much harder for their boundaries. I thought Cobb played nicely enough without showing a huge amount of intent, almost looking like, do you know what, we're just going to get a score on the board here rather than trying to go too hard too early and get bowled out for too few. So Northampton are in a position to strike with 5.1 overs remaining. They're 105 for 4, as it looks like Proctor is just changing his bat here as he gets a drink. He might have just got a little dent on the corner of his bat. I wouldn't say he's been plinking them that badly, but it looks like he's going to just change something. But yeah, Somerset have been far more effective. Northampton, I guess, maybe struggling for a little bit of confidence. They haven't gone so well in the last few games. They need a win themselves as well tonight, which I'm sure that they would have been really keen and would have talked about in their team meeting. Everything's on the line here tonight. So we're going to have a look at Lewis Gregory's left foot antics. That superb Yorker he bowled, and then that left foot shy at the stumps. Can you call it a shy? Left foot kick at the stumps? But yeah, as Russell Warren runs in there, it was an easy decision for him to give that not out.
Yep. Good though from Lewis Gregory, because those sorts of things can bring wickets if you just get a head start on the batsman. Maybe wasn't quite quick enough on backing up or whatever. So good effort. Keeps the pressure on, doesn't it? Just shows, actually, don't take me on because I will hit the stumps. As Gregory's in again, the batsman thinks about making some room in the end. I think it was just a bit of a feint to trick Lewis Gregory. In the end, didn't really work. Nicely bowled, and just a single from it Better over, much better from Lewis Gregory there. 106 for 4 after 15 overs. Here, let's take a look at this stat here. Roelof van der Merwe, 10 wickets in the middle overs, 5 wickets at the death, which is that's such a useful player to have on your side, who also brings a bit with the bat too.
Yeah, good fielder as well, and one of the most competitive people you'll ever see in any kind of sport. If you're playing darts, if you're drinking, or whatever you're doing with Roelof van der Merwe, you are doing it at 100%. You know, he loves the competition, and he's been a superb performer for Somerset during his various stints at the club, but also most notably in T20 cricket in recent years. But you know, Somerset in really good shape here. I mentioned when I did the pitch report earlier, Charlie, that there was almost 400 runs on this wicket last time it was played on. So that obviously that was 5 days ago or so. So the wicket would have gone a bit drier since then. But the Steelbacks are in real danger of not having enough on the board here. I think they've got to get to 165, 170 to even have a bit of a sniff. It is a good ground to chase on here at Taunton.
Well, I tell you, if they get to 170, we're in for some antics here in the last 5 overs. That would be another 64 runs in 5 overs. So will we see that, or will Somerset's spinners, you'd think, a lot of overs left for our spinners, keep the pressure on? Just a single from that van der Merwe ball, and the score moves to 107 for 4.
I'm really loving as well the blend of youth and experience in the Somerset side. You know, you've got some real youngsters out there in Lammonby, Smeed, Goldsworthy. Also, Ollie Sale hasn't played a huge amount of cricket. You've got the experience of Davis and Gregory and van der Merwe and Waller, just punctuated with some players in the infancy of their careers. Some guys, Lammonby, has been superb whenever he's batted in this competition. We haven't spoke about him in great depth, but he's been a pivotal member of this squad so far, and you'd like to think if Somerset are chasing later and it gets to the wire, then as that ball's hit away to Craig Overton at long off from Wakeley, it's fielded easily by Overton for just a single. But if it gets a bit closer later, then Tom Lammonby, with every confidence, he could see Somerset over the line.
Yeah, useful left-arm bowler as well, Lammonby. He
might even get a look in as well with the ball.
Really useful left-arm bowler. Probably, maybe not his pitch, maybe not his game tonight, but useful option for Lewis Gregory on the right pitch. But with these spinners on and with the pitch offering a little bit of grip, he's stuck with those 3 spinners. This one played across the line, sweeping square here is Proctor. Just the single added, and the score moves to 109 for 4. This is good. You don't mind singles as you head towards the last quarter of the innings.
Quite smart from Northampton as well, sending Proctor in. Got that right-handed, left-hand combination, so at least one of those batters is hitting towards a slightly shorter boundary, which are in front of the retirement flats as we look at it. Just hearing in my ear, over 500,000 people have already watched the live stream today, which means over 500,000 people have probably seen you underneath the high ball, Charlie, the £200 man, Charlie Taylor, catching for charity for the RNLI, which was good fun, of course, earlier. We might have a bit of a look at that in the interval too, as that's another single for Wakeley. But 500,000 people viewing the stream, that's absolutely superb. So brilliant to bring this with you in conjunction with Trade Nation. We've raised an awful lot of money for charity during this T20 competition as well. So obviously the association from a live stream partner as well, but obviously plenty of good causes benefiting from that association too. Just a reminder, tune in for our competition at half time as van der Merwe, full ball was hit away by Proctor. Gregory diving away, gets a hand on that. It's half stopped. He'll give away a second, but he will stop what would have been a certain boundary. So I would have thought that the result of that good in the end. 2 more runs to Proctor takes him on to 118. The score is 112 for 4.
Just the views out here, the sun just beginning to set now, shadows lengthening, absolutely beautiful. We're going to take a look at our drone cam live footage at the end of this over as van der Merwe around the wicket, and there's missed it as this one. There was an attempted slog. Going down on one knee there was Alex Wakeley, but he's missed it. And let's just take a look at the drone cam. I mentioned the sun setting, these shadows lengthening there. Look at the beautiful views. Taunton there, the Blackdown Hills behind it, looking absolutely beautiful. And just sort of over the top of the pavilion there. Steve, what have you spotted on the pitch from the drone cam?
No, just I don't know if you can see it on the screen at home, but just that little arrow on the screen.
As we just take a lovely look over the ground. Really picturesque scene. Such a shame you can't be here with us tonight, but great to have you with us. 500,000 views, people watching the live stream, and that I'm sure will go up throughout the night, especially as Somerset get towards the business end of their innings, chasing down what looks like it will be at the moment. And I don't want to, as you said, tempt fate. It's a commentator's curse and all that sort of thing, but 112 for 4 with just 4 overs left. Northamptonshire need to get a bit of a move on.
Yeah, it's getting the projected score. Seems that it's getting kind of less and less by the over, but surely they're going to have to put a bit of a spurt on here in Northants. That is for sure. Alex Wakely has played a lot of cricket, the former captain of Northants. You know, he's been there and done it. So yeah, he's certainly someone who has experience. He knows what he's got to do. But so far, Somerset's the bowling, they haven't offered any width at all. Just a modicum of width offered from the Somerset bowlers. Bowled very straight. We've used the conditions really effectively so far tonight. Ollie Sale. He's bowled some crucial overs in the competition so far, but this is another big one. But just while he sets his field, just a reminder that if you get that phone call from Charlie Taylor at half-time, you pick up the phone from a private number and say, how's that, Trade Nation? And a chance to win the TV, to win the Thatchers, to win the pizza. So if you get a call from a private number, please answer the phone with that code. Ollie Sale just moving his field here. Very unconventional field. He's got almost 2 mid-offs and 2 deep backward points and a backward cover, and then everyone out on the leg side apart from a short fine leg. So that's very interesting indeed. It's Ollie Sale is in. This time 4 ball, it's driven away to his deep backward point, which is Roelof van der Merwe, does the fielding. It's just 1 run, so tick in the box to Ollie Sale, first ball of the over.
Yep, needed to bowl on the offside there, couldn't have strayed too far into his pads or on the leg side. Obviously don't want to bowl too far on the leg side anyway, but nicely bowled, bowling to his field and just the 1 run from it. We're keeping a close eye here just because Sale, who's been left with these crucial overs, these death overs before, and has been sent for quite a few runs. Sale, the faith kept in him by the coaches here at Somerset, Jason Kerr and the captain Lewis Gregory. Just having a chat there with what to do, and they're keeping the field largely similar for this ball. Gregory heads back to the cover area. As, it was just a single, so everything swapping around as Ollie Sale is in, and this one is down the leg side, and that is going to be a wide. Trying to bowl it onto his pads this time because that field has been switched because the left-hand, right-hand split at the crease there. So not great, giving away that extra delivery, the extra run as well. Steve's shaking his head here.
Rule of 6, Charlie, I mentioned it earlier, didn't you? You've got to have the Boris's rule of 6. It applies T20 cricket, so you can't be in 7s. You can't be bowling those extra balls. Ollie Sale needs to curb those extras. He looks like he might bowl another one. This time he gets away with it. The get out of jail free card is laid by Ian Blackwell. We've given him a bit of stick on this commentary for not helping Somerset's cause, but a marginal decision goes the way of Ollie Sale there. The Honey Badger, Thor, Legolas, he has been called. But what he does need to do is be effective for Somerset with the old ball, as Ollie Sale just again surveys his field. Proctor is on strike, the left-hander, eyeing up what is a fairly large leg side boundary towards the Colin Atkinson pavilion, and he aims in that direction. Doesn't get all of it. It's fielded by Tom Abel, one of the more able, so we say, fielders in county cricket. Also been away with England A this winter as well. He is an absolute jet on there, as we just have a look at Ollie Sale highlights over the competition so far. Some of them are Ollie Sale, indeed.
In the field in the pavilion, looking out, ready to bat.
Is that Ollie Sale stood next to Jason Kerr there in that first one? He won't thank me for that. He had a bit of a giggle actually in our pre-match interview, Jason Kerr, earlier. As, I'll tell you why in a minute. It's Ollie Sale this time. That has to be a wide. Looking for a wide Yorker and didn't execute well at all. And umpire Blackwell gives another single. When I was interviewing Jason Kerr, I was asking him about the young players, and obviously in my other role as academy director or head of talent pathway here, he was having a bit of a smirk, as he knows that I'm very passionate about giving these young players an opportunity. And what I will say, opportunity in life, not just in cricket. If you give young people opportunity, more often than not, I think they'll surprise you positively. And it was really good to see Smead, Goldsworthy, Lammonby in this competition, certainly surprising people positively. The ball's high in the air. Lewis Gregory is underneath it, nonchalantly, easily, casually and relaxed. He takes that catch. Easy wicket for him. Wakely has gone for 8. Steelbacks 116 for 5. Somerset, they're on fire tonight, Charlie.
Well, there's 2 times you see fielders do that. They just look so uninterested. Either the ball is sailing over their heads for 6 or it's coming to them nice and easily. And that one, thankfully for Somerset, was an easy catch. 116 for 5. Wakely's gone. Northamptonshire really starting to stutter here towards the end of their innings. Somerset will be delighted with how this is going.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the performance was needed tonight. Everything on the line in terms of Somerset's T20 campaign. And so far, So far, so good, Charlie. They've been really good so far. All of the bowlers. Just have a look at that. We've got them on the screen now. Waller 1 for 24 off 4. Craig Overton just 2 overs, 1 for 6. Van der Merwe 0 for 27 off 4. Ollie Sale 1 for 16. He's into his second over here. And Lewis Goldsworthy, the Plymouth Messi, 2 for 21 off 3. And Lewis Gregory 0 for 19 off 2, which Gregory's second over was an excellent one. His first over went for 14, didn't it? So second over going for just 5. And what we're seeing for Somerset tonight is just some smart game plans and a lack of boundary balls and width on offer. Yeah,
they're looking. When I was listening into the Glamorgan game on Wednesday, I thought they sounded like their bowling had improved. Their batting clearly with Baba finding some form has improved as well. If Somerset are hitting form towards the right end of the group stage, it's a very good time to hit it. Obviously, this game's still got a long way left in it yet, and it's not right off any side or tell our viewers that one side's going to win when who knows what might happen. Cricket is a funny old game, but Somerset here certainly improved on what we've watched the last few home games.
Yeah,
bowling wise,
certainly agree with that. And yeah, just one kind of nitpicking moment, just get rid of those extras, those wides. Apart from that, Somerset have been very efficient. As this time, Sale bowls a short ball into the wicket. Zaib is in to join Proctor. Proctor had a swing at that one. I think she's got a little bit of glove on that. I mentioned we got a few people around the world listening. Got a tweet from a very special, or a message from a very special friend of mine saying, "Can you have a 2-minute break on the live stream, please? My ears are about to fall off." Nassas now. That's Tom Banton, who's listening in the UAE. So I hope you're enjoying your IPL experience so far, Tom. And that suit you had to wear on that flight, that looked very interesting. You look like one of those cleaners who goes into clean after there's been some sort of horrific crime everywhere. But yeah, thanks for your interest. As Ollie Sale coming round the wicket this time to Zaib to face his first delivery. Watch out for Zaib. He took some brilliant catches in Northampton's T20 campaign from what I've seen so far as he gets himself off the mark, and he's also played some really effective innings as well. He looks a very exciting young cricketer.
Yeah, top cricketer. Really enjoy watching him, and have enjoyed the coverage on TV of the game so far. Northamptonshire seem to be on every night. It seems to be. And I've got them. Somerset only having the one televised game. Obviously, we're very happy to bring you the live stream here, but Northamptonshire getting a few. We've got some slow motion bird action. Lovely. Look at that. The sights of Taunton.
Very Alan Partridge, that. If we're going to start commentating on this, Charlie, aren't we?
You're not into your bird.
Yeah, come on, people don't want to see birds, do they?
Stalwart of cricket commentary is identifying birds. Not that I'm any good at it.
Ben, you've done brilliantly on this live stream, the editing so far, but that's your first faux pas of the 5 games. Feel free to give him some criticism on the Twitter at Ben Warren. Maybe it's Dan Cooper that needs the blame for that. So I'd be more interested in flat cam. Let's have a look at those people on the penthouse. As Craig Overton is back into the attack. 2 overs so far he's bowled, 1 for 6, the England international. He's been absolutely superb. He comes in slower ball this time, hits save Zaib on the pad. There's a chance of a run out as well. He's given out, brilliant from Craig Overton. He bats, he bowls, he fields. What a cricketer he is, the man from Devon. Ian Blackwell, he gives a decision Somerset's way. The ball was hit onto the pad of Zaib. He scampered to the other end. Proctor tried his best to get there. Craig Overton ran round the ball, flicked it at the stumps, middle stump, out of the ground. Brilliant piece of awareness, athleticism and skill from Craig Overton. Scored 118 for 6.
The fielding has been fantastic tonight. Craig Overton there showing just what a fantastic cricketer he is. Like you say, bowling, his batting. We've seen him hit some huge sixes in the nets earlier on. So if he gets a chance, he's looking in good nick. And that as well, absolutely brilliant. Just to have that mentality to get there quickly, pick up the ball and throw it as accurately as that ripping out middle stump. And Ian Blackwell quick to raise the finger. 118 for 6. Zaib is on strike for this one. Proctor, the man out. In fact, they would have crossed, weren't they, in that one? So I think it might be the new batsman. We'll wait to see exactly who that is. As Overton comes in over the wicket, and this one is going to hit off the edge. Will it land safe? It will. Oh, leading edge there. Could have been 2 in 2. Team wickets. 118 for 6. It'll be 119 for 6 now after that top edge nearly found its way back to the bowler.
Philip Newman Hall says 500,000 people watching Somerset on the live stream. in conjunction with Trade Nation. How many of those in Pakistan are waiting for Babar Azam to bat? Well, I would say quite a few there, Philip, but also we've got a loyal contingent of people all around the world that have been following this stream from the outset of Somerset's T20 campaign. Hopefully it will carry on for a bit longer yet, as Overton is straight and he's worked away on the leg side for a single. Tom Lammonby, who I'm not sure has touched the ball tonight, does the fielding. But I'll tell you what's great, you know, with all this international cricket going on, and every time we've had a game, we've gone head to head against the international. It's not been fair on the internationals, has it? Got some proper cricket going on tonight, some county cricket. That's what we want to see. The schedulers, you know, they're prioritising the international cricket, but this is where it's raw, where it's interesting. Young players developing, absolutely superb. And Overton's going to get another wicket this time. No, he's not, as Lammonby does the fielding again. So brilliant to bring you this stream tonight. It's an absolute privilege for myself and Charlie Taylor to be here. We're going to get a side-on view of that superb Craig Overton run out. You can see the groundsman hard at work in the background. Sahib hit on the pad and Craig Overton runs around the ball. Superb piece of follow-through, athleticism in his follow-through. Not even a flicker from Scott, the groundsman there. You'd think he'd be on his feet appreciating that piece of fielding from Craig Overton. He is in again this time. It's a brilliant shot away on the offside. Babar Azam's after it, diving to his left-hand side, scoops up the ball. Good shot that from Saif Zaib. Just 2 more to the total. The Steelbacks 123 for 6. Last ball of the 18th over.
As the director of the Talent Pathways Academy here, Steve, what's it like having someone like Craig Overton? You can show him a replay like that and say, this is what we're aiming for in the field. As a bowler, off your own bowling, this is what you should be aiming for.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. One of the quotes was attributed to me when Ned Leonard signed his professional contract quite recently. One of our young bowlers with Somerset as Overton is this time. I think it's going for 6. Max Waller's not going to get that one. It's in the slot, and what a superb shot from Saif Zaib over Max Waller, long on for 6. That's £50 more to the RNLI. Another great cause. I think we're up to around about £850 to charity so far tonight. That's into the churchyard. Hopefully we'll try and get you a shot of that if we can. But coming back to your question, the quote I mentioned was somebody like Ned Leonard can come into the Somerset squad, and what good or what excellence looks like somebody like Craig Overton delivering that on a daily basis, whether it's within the field or with his bowling. That can be a template which you can look at and follow and think, well, he's hitting the top off stump 6 out of 6 or 5.5 out of 6 at pace, but he's also a brilliant slip fielder, he's a brilliant outfielder, he scores useful runs with the bat as well. So those senior players living and demonstrating and evolving the culture of the club just by being brilliant on a day-to-day basis can only help your young players.
And that's, look at Craig Overton getting England calls up playing Test cricket. It's what could be aspired to, because it's not just about being good in one facet of the game. If you want an England call-up, you've got to be on top of the game in all forms. As Gregory is in, this one comes off an edge of the bat. It's going to be a catch for Babar Azam, another one out of the sky, and 129 for 7 is the score. It's a wicket for Lewis Gregory. Babar Azam takes his second of the match. It looked like he didn't pick that up quite early on. He was waiting to see it, caught it in the sky just in time for him to move into place and take what was a pretty simple looking catch this time compared to his first effort. So 129 for 7, Somerset well on top.
Yeah, easy catch that for Babar Azam. Gobbled that one up nice and smartly. Graham White, who is actually a very useful lower order hitter. You will see some left arm spin for him a bit later as well. He has gone, which is a useful wicket for Somerset. But coming back to what we were chatting about young players and their integration into first team environment, I know that one of the conversations I had with Will Smead, from an aspirational perspective, seeing what Tom Banton did going into the first team and then signing in all these leagues around the world, and getting international recognition very quickly. I'm sure seeing that, Will Smead is a very intelligent young man. He could become a hedge fund manager if he wants to, I'm sure, at some stage. But seeing the quick success from somebody like Tom, as Gregory's into Zaif, he doesn't quite time all of that as Anne does the fielding, manages to prevent 2. But seeing the success and also what is possible for players to do, and to do it quickly if you do it well, is hugely aspirational. Because you're not seeing guys on the county treadmill here at Somerset. You're seeing Leach, Bess, Overton going into England squads, Gregory, Banton, and being successful and obviously earning a shed load of cash as well in the process. So actually for a young player seeing that, I think, well, I want a bit of that. And then actually the work that goes into that behind the scenes, they get to see that too, which I think is hugely beneficial as Somerset captain Gregory beats the outside edge of Nathan Buck, who's had a few clubs as well, hasn't he? Leicester, Lancashire and Northamptonshire. Was he at Lancashire for a bit, I think? I think he was. Might have made that one up. But nonetheless, he doesn't manage to get any runs for 130 for 7. Somerset are going so well here. It's been a brilliant response, having lost the last couple of matches here at headquarters. Somerset back with a vengeance tonight, and Gregory again, it's a slower ball. Buck just manages to work it away on the offside. It's fumbled by Lewis Goldsworthy, but actually his first mistake in a Somerset shirt, but the Northants batters not showing enough awareness to capitalise on that mistake.
Yeah, through the Leicestershire Academy, 2009 till 2014, then with Lancashire for a couple of seasons before joining Northamptonshire. So Nathan Buck, those cricketers, making his way around the East Midlands and the Northwest. And 131 for 7, with just a few balls remaining as Gregory's in. This was bowled him! Zabe goes 131 for 8 now, and Northamptonshire's innings is falling away. Somerset are, well, we knew that it was a must-win game, and they've come out. We'd played really well, and the bowlers have been so much better than what we've seen in the last few games here at Taunton. And that one, a beautiful ball onto leg stump, top of leg stump, and as Zabe tried to make room for himself, trying to get it over the infield, missed it, and the ball just too good for him on that occasion. The score 131 for 8.
Gregory bringing the stumps into play expertly there. Zabe looking to create some elevation through the offside. Gregory followed him nicely, brought the stumps into play and dismissed him. Absolutely superb. 131 for 8. We mentioned earlier, like a score earlier of 160 would probably be a minimum which Northampton needed. They are a long way behind this, so I'll be very interested who's going to be entrusted with the last over of the Somerset innings. Goldsworthy's got one left, Overton's got one. You'd like to think he'd bowl it, but Ollie Sale's been the man, that almost the go-to man at the death. It's been arguable whether he's delivered on that, but still equally, if that's the formula and you want to trust someone, you want to develop someone, you want to bring them into the game, give that last over to Sale. But we shall see what Captain Gregory does. He's in to bowl his last ball, the afternoon's work, and it's full and it's chopped away by Sanderson, and they're only going to get one as Overton, who's been fielding long on to long on. Geez, these guys are fit these days, does the fielding. But let's have a look. Let's see who's going to get the last over.
Well, they're 18 away from 150. You talked about 170 as a target. I mean, that is out of reach clearly from this point. 132 for 8. Somerset will be wanting to keep them below 140. Anything below 140 you'd think is, well, it would be Somerset's to lose in that point. Northamptonshire, though, they have had a good start of the season. They know how to defend totals. They've got a good attack, which will probably benefit from the pitch here as well with those spin options that you've mentioned. It does look like it'll be Ollie Sale. That faith in him continues.
He's getting a bit of advice there, wasn't he? It was a mothers' meeting there. Overton, Gregory, Waller.
Yeah, we nearly had more than 6 people. We nearly had to break them up.
The social distancing in place there. Has a bit of advice just flowing around. Craig Overton, I think you can hear me. He's having a bit of a giggle from down there. The interaction we can have with the players is absolutely superb. I mean, it's not quite like having you all here with us, I know, but here he comes, Ollie Sale, Thor, and he's bang on target this time. That's a great start from Sale. Middle stump Yorker executed superbly. We talked about the rule of 6. We don't want any extras here, Ollie. Just get in, get out, get this over on the way. And then Somerset have got a chance to knock off what is looks a below par score.
Yeah, nice full ball there. We've talked about Somerset bowling too short, we think, in previous games. That's the death over now in the last over of the game. Nice full ball in at the stumps, hard to get away, especially to the tail enders. 8 wickets down Northamptonshire. Sale is in again. Again, it's full. This is massive. He's picked it up. It is going to go over the boundary rope for 6, very high, and just enough on it to take it over the boundary for 6. So Buck moves to 7, 139 for 8 the score. Let's take another look at this. He really picked this up nicely from Sale, who put it in the slot to be hit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right in the slot, wasn't it? He'd like to think that, he didn't think, well, Buck, not a huge amount of options, that longer boundary, but that was right in the area where he probably would have wanted it. It was not a great delivery, that from Sale, but credit to Nathan Buck. The execution of that shot was magnificent. That's into the wind as well, so it's a steady hit, and that's in the slot as well from Ollie Sale. Max Waller does the fielding this time. Buck went deep in his crease, just a single, takes the score on to 140.
So let's just take a look at the run out. Just this is the one which came off the top edge there. We'll see if we can get the run out for you as well. Here the length that Ollie Sale is bowling, we've mentioned it's in the slot, which clearly is where the batsman wants it. So I guess you'd say he's trying to hit that Yorker length as Sale as he tries again. That's better, but it's going to go down the leg side of the umpire feeling lenient, lets it go.
Well, I don't know if we can get a replay of that, but it looked like it went through his legs in the end. He moved around the batter, so the wide line does change if the batter moves around. So Russell Warren there just indicating to the batter that he did move, and it looked like the ball just kind of sneaked between his legs. But the length was excellent from Ollie Sale there, not allowing the batter to get underneath it. We talked at the top of the show tonight about not allowing any elevation underneath the ball. We've seen one ball so far from Ollie Sale, which has enabled the buck to get underneath. What's going to happen this ball this time? Again, Sale hits the stumps, a wicket from Ollie Sale. It wasn't bang in the hole, but again, it wasn't in the slot. Sale gets a wicket, 140 for 9. There is 2 balls remaining. Ollie Sale, that will give him some confidence. He needed a pole. Ollie Sale getting it right and getting it gone. Superb stuff from him.
Yep, Northamptonshire now 9 down with 2 balls to go. They're on 140. That one was a full toss, actually hit the stumps without bouncing, which to a top order batsman you'd fancy could be going for a lot of runs. But against the tail end, they're not there for their batting, and the mistake came in. This is the run out we're about to see now from Craig Overton. They went for a run. I mean, it was a brave run, and Overton quick to it. Just going to go out of our screens there, but you'll see the ball fly in from him. There it is, look at that. And not much of a dive going on there, Steve, from the batsman. What do you make of that?
Yeah, you wouldn't get full marks or effort there, would you, from the batter there? Yeah, you certainly want to see a full-length dive. But Ollie Sale to bowl the penultimate ball of the innings, and he gets it bang on the money. Brilliant from Sale, right in the hole. A little bit of that slower ball, I think. Really good skills that time from Sale. It's great to see him improving. We talked, mentioned who is going to bowl this over. We talked about who's going to bowl it, whether it be Craig Overton or one of the spinners, but allowing Ollie Sale the trust to bowl this over, I think, is really important, and he is repaying the faith.
Well, let's see what happens. Last ball of the innings. Northamptonshire will be hoping for a 6. It's Glover, the number 11, who's going to be entrusted with that. There's a little bit of a fielding change going on as the umpire looks behind, and what's going on there? They're playing around with the field. Hard to know what's happening here. They're looking up towards us, up towards the boxes.
End of the over. And so
that
6 balls
that
gone.
was the 6th ball. That was it. They bowled the 6th. Oh, but maybe the scorers added on a wide when there wasn't one, perhaps. So they were looking up at the scorers. I wondered what was going on. Well, that's good news for Somerset, because it won't be any more runs added on. So that is 140 for 9. Somerset will keep Northamptonshire to 141 is the target. Steve, quickly for you from now, do you fancy Somerset to chase down 141 on this pitch? Must-win game.
Feels a little bit of a was it a Clive Tilsley, Kevin Keegan moment at the World Cup where David Batty's up to take the penalty. Will he score? Charlie, chasing 140 at Taunton. I think you have to be very strong favourites if you're Somerset. Obviously, we're not down at pitch side, but what the conditions I've seen from the pitch report earlier and from how the wickets played, it does look a bit on the slow side, but 140 looks nowhere near enough. So you have to make Somerset strong favourites. But we've seen it in the past, low score thrillers. Pressure comes into the game, few early wickets, you never know what might happen. But if I was putting my faith in anyone, I think Somerset are in a very strong position here.
Great stuff. So Somerset will be very pleased with that. And also we should mention as well, bowling improvements from what we've watched here at Taunton. Certainly something that sounded like it improved for Cardiff on Wednesday night. I wasn't there at Sophia Gardens, but what we've seen tonight was better from Somerset.
Yeah, much better. And also I do think having that extra spinner in the attack, that frontline spinner, Lewis Goldsworthy, who was excellent tonight as well, taking a couple of strong wickets as well. I think it just makes a huge difference in terms of the balance of the side. Goldsworthy taking 2 for 21 off his 3 overs. As we have a look at you can see for yourselves at home that the bowling stats on the screen. I just think the makeup of the side and getting the pace off the ball at Taunton, particularly on a slower wicket, is really important. And I think Lewis Gregory did that really effectively tonight. But I think it's competition time now, isn't it, Charlie? This is the last go at it. The Trade Nation competition. Chance to win the TV, to win the Thatchers, to win the pizza. Who have you got for us, Charlie?
Really exciting stuff. So all you got to do is when I call you is pick up and say, how's that, Trade Nation? That's what you've got to do. Make sure it's the first thing you say, because if it's not, then we'll have to move on. I've got some names in front of me. We are going to be calling these to see whether they can get this right. And we can give away the 5th of the TVs that we've been doing that, the pizza and the Thatchers as well. Here we go.
How's that, Trade Nation?
Is that Tim?
Yes, it is.
Tim, you've just won the TV, the Thatchers and the pizza.
Oh, brilliant.
Fantastic. How do you feel?
Fantastic, yeah. Even better after a brilliant bowling performance.
Yeah, not bad, was it? Not bad at all. So what are you going to do? Do you need a new TV?
Well, unfortunately, my partner's not very keen on big TVs, but I'm sure that's a discussion we can have.
Well, you've got a free one now, so you may as well find a place for it. And the pizza and the Thatchers as well. Look, are you watching the stream tonight?
Yeah, I am, yeah, as always, yeah.
Great stuff. What do you reckon then? 141, Somerset got a win?
Yeah, hopefully we can, yeah.
Fantastic. Whereabouts are you, Tim?
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm in Gloucestershire.
Oh, no. Quick, next call.
Tim, you haven't won, Tim.
But I've always been a Somerset fan, always.
Good to hear. Good to hear that, Tim. Great stuff. Enjoy your night, and we'll get that TV, the pizza and the Thatchers on the way.
Excellent. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot there. Look at that, Tim, who's in Gloucestershire, but never mind.
Well, Tim's won the TV there, so we will let him keep it, even though he is in Gloucestershire. That shows what can happen if you're listening. How's that, Trade Nation? Good job it wasn't the mother-in-law. She'd have thought Tim was very random, and he can watch you and I on the stream even more. So can't he?
Which is great. We're Steve. This is going to please you because we're going to do the catching competition again. We're going to hear what happened or see what happened when I took to there. But first of all, we haven't been able to play you the full clip of what happened against Glamorgan last year. This is the whole reason we've been talking about my catching, is because there was a ball which came towards me. I was in the crowd, and well, let's see what happened.
Just Crocodile Charlie there. We'll have a look at the slow-mo here. Gone with a very similar technique to what we're going to see in a minute, but having seen this, actually great to see the full edited version of you grasping at thin air in front of millions of people on the TV. Came up with the idea for Charlie's charity catch. So Trade Nation got on board, and we thought what we'll do is we'll give Charlie 6 catches, 50 quid a catch, see if he can donate some money to charity, and we'll get the Somerset fielding coach Paul Tweddle involved as well. Let's have a look how you got on, Charlie. Out here in the middle of the Cooper Associates County Ground, I've got Charlie Taylor with me. We're going to talk about your catching extraordinaire in a minute, and Paul Tweddle, Somerset assistant coach. There's been a bit of chat flying around about Charlie Taylor's catching prowess, and you may well have seen an edit of him dropping a catch at a TV game last year, which hopefully we would have showed a few times tonight already. But Trade Nation have very kindly agreed to donate £50 every time Charlie Taylor completes a catch. That's £50 if he catches one. They've obviously seen the footage already of him shelling them, so they obviously don't feel too worried about that. But Charlie, how are you feeling about tonight's challenge?
I am really nervous about tonight. I'm not known for my catching. I play for a local club in Somerset, and they know that if it's coming to me, it's runs rather than wickets. So I am nervous. Just done a couple of practice ones, managed to hold on just about to a couple. So we'll see. Extra pressure with 50 quid riding on it. I mean, that adds on a bit of pressure there. So I'm nervous. Yeah,
absolutely. Tweds. If people are at home on the Trade Nation website, I don't think this is available to trade on, but it might be. Where would your money be? Would you be trading heavily with Charlie or against him here?
I haven't seen the start, mate. I think I'm going evens at the moment. I think I'm definitely worth 150 quid, I reckon.
150 quid? That would be brilliant. We've got the RNLI, that's going to tonight. So Charlie Taylor, let's see what he's got. We're ready for catch number 1. Yes! Well done, 50 quid in the coffers. We've got some of the Somerset players up on the balcony giving Charlie a bit of stick as well. Looking forward to some. Tom Abel saying hit it higher. That one's gone a bit higher. Oh, Charlie! Catch number 3 coming up. Charlie Taylor underneath that high ball again. Charlie, you don't play the piano, do you? No. Good job. Your mouth is your the money maker here, as they say. So catch number 5 coming up. Tweddle gives us some height. Taylor underneath it. Yeah! Straight in the breadbasket. 150 quid for charity, Charlie, so for one catch to come.
Could be 200.
Could be 200 quid coming to the RNLI. Catch number 6 going up. Goodall gives it a bit more height.
Yes!
So completed the catching challenge, and I have to say, Charlie Taylor, £200, 4 catches caught. How did that go?
I am amazed that 4 managed to stay in. Okay, not cleanly, like you said, some of them, but I tell you what, that gives me a newfound respect for that. If you imagine the floodlights on as well, a full crowd, obviously not this year, but normally that pressure, knowing also if it's a big wicket, if it's their key batsman, that's a lot of pressure. It's actually quite painful as well. So fair play to them, but I'm absolutely delighted. 200 quid for charity.
So Charlie Taylor, what an absolute superstar. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but Charlie Taylor, hashtag the crocodile catcher, hashtag the juggler, the chest control.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some stick, but 4 out of 6.
A catch is a catch, Steve.
That is a catch. We said Tom Abel on the balcony was shouting earlier, if it's out, it's out. And I know that you've got a few injured fingers as well, but how did you find that this afternoon?
It was, do you know what? I loved it. I love being out there. Obviously, I've watched cricket here since I was a boy, so to be out there and actually playing cricket rather than doing interviews, which is what I normally do if I'm allowed on the pitch after a game or something, to be out there playing cricket, to know get that feeling for what it's like to play inside a stadium, like I said on the tape, you get that respect for players who are under so much pressure. You know, we expected Lewis Gregory to take a catch there. We expected Babar Azam in the deep to take those catches. Actually, it's not as easy as it looks. It's tough.
Well, one of the things I did enjoy, we're going to see one of Lewis Gregory's wickets from earlier, just as he follows, I think it's Zaif Saeed, just follows, it backs away and goes into leg stump. Excellent bowling indeed from Lewis Gregory. One of the things I did enjoy is when Babar Azam took that catch early on, you were straight onto him, giving him a little bit of advice, weren't you? Just, know, Babar, the conditions out there, etc.
I just want to help him out. You know, I'm just a kind guy trying to support and help out the players there. And if I can offer some advice to the world number 2 ranked T20 batsman, then I will.
And I think we have got a lot of people on the stream from Pakistan. I think you've probably almost got as many fans as Babar Azam after that catching display, but 200 quid that Trade Nation have matched up to 400 quid after our challenge that I did with Don Bess, an extra 400 quid in the pot. So it's great that our little bit of bants is raising money for some really good causes.
Yeah, and this just came out of a chat we had during the last game we were here at Gloucestershire. So to actually make it a real thing with real money for charity is absolutely fantastic. So thanks Trade Nation for doing that, and thank you for helping organise it all.
No, all good fun. But right, back into the world of real cricket from Charlie's and myself's fantasy land. But we've got Steve Davis and of course Babar Azam coming out to the middle here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. It's been a superb afternoon for Somerset so far, restricting the Northampton Steelbacks to 140. That means there's 141 to win. Babar Azam, fresh from his superb, scintillating, flawless and skillful 100 against Glamorgan. Confidence should be sky high, and he'll be hoping to put a huge dent in this total in that power play. Somerset fans watching on the live stream, there are over 500,000 of you at the last count. I'm sure that's shooting up just in the towns, cities and villages of Pakistan as Babar comes out, but they'll be looking for Steve Davis to put in a good contribution with Babar Azam here as well.
Certainly, and we haven't been treated, selfishly here speaking, Steve, we haven't been treated to see any Babar Azam heroics. We've seen a 6, a duck, and then a difficult 14, I think it was, from in the last game here. He hasn't looked himself. He found form in Cardiff. Let's hope he can carry that forward, and we can be seeing some fireworks tonight.
Yeah, we haven't been angry with you, Babar. Just disappointed. Just give us a little bit, Babar. Just a few shots from your repertoire. Certainly the last innings he played, he looked to over-hit the ball. I think let's see him use his natural timing and grace. I think that would be good. Steve Davis is on strike. He needs a few runs as well. So it's going to be Nathan Buck, I think, into the attack, and first ball of the innings, and it's Ben Sanderson in actual fact, and there's no run, knocked out on the offside, and yeah, Somerset are underway here.
Yeah, Sanderson getting underway with a dot ball, which is good for him, but the thing is, with 140 on the board chasing, actually Somerset do have a bit of time. There's never loads of time in a T20, but actually with 140 rather than chasing, what was it against Gloucestershire, 204 or something, just gives you that extra maybe ball or two to see yourself in. Davies this time playing it into the onside, and Northamptonshire are going to have to be absolutely on it with the fielding, and that's what we've seen so far, these 2 balls. No runs from it. Azam at the non-striker's end, waiting to get on strike.
You know, it's the old adage of cricket about not judging a wicket until both sides have batted on it. So I'd be really interested in this power play in terms of what the pace on the ball is like from the bowlers and what the feel and the look is from the Somerset batters in terms of how slow or how much grip there is in this wicket. As Sanderson's in again this time. Davis just nudges the ball away on the onside. Richard Levi is after it, slides away, hits the ground quite hard there. Does Richard Levi, quite a decent impact, and that's only 2 runs to Steve Davis, and Somerset are underway.
Yeah, good fielding there. Targeting the certain fielders. You feel Steve Davis there. It's brought Azam staying off strike, I should say. This is 2 for that one. So 2 for no loss. Steve Davies getting the score up and running. Somerset need 139 more. Sanderson is in around the wicket, and this one just clipped over the infield. That one will go for 4. Not even running that time for that one. Nice shot from Steve Davies. He likes that shot. If you can get it onto his leg side, he plays that very well. It's a nice looking shot from Steve Davies, who, as we'll see again, it's a nice replay for you as it comes in too far down the pads on the leg side from Sanderson, and just turned around the corner really.
Yeah, he just looks to deflect the ball, Steve. He doesn't look to overhit the ball, hit it too hard, but certainly use the pace on the ball and then deflect the ball. Generally square the wicket, very strong through backward point and quick on that swivel pull shot as well. That's the type of shots he likes to play. An elegant drive this time away on the offside, and there is no run. But Azam yet to face a delivery. Steve Davis is 6 not out. As we said in the first over of the game where Max Waller was bowling, that last ball of that first over is always a critical delivery, and whether or not it's been deemed a good over or not. As we mentioned before, if Davis can get a boundary off this last ball, Somerset would be absolutely flying. If there's a wicket, then you think that Sanderson is really in the game here. As Steve Davis, he crouches, pauses, waits for Sanderson to deliver, and he clips the ball away on the onside. That's going to be at least 2. The outfield's getting a little bit quicker in this evening. There may be a little bit of dew around as we get into the evening dusk. Davis is on to 8. Somerset 8 for 0 after 1.
Now, if there's, I play for a team called Axbridge, not far from where you live actually, Steve. You're part of the county, and you can see a tweet from them there. They say, just seen Charlie's highlights of catching. Did Crocodile Charlie think Trade Nation would double the donation if he double catched every attempt? The Taunton Juggler is the hashtag they've used there. Thanks, guys. If there's one thing, well, they're no good at cricket, so they have to rely on banter really to try and get them through, and that's questionable at the best.
Yeah, there'll certainly be a few knock-ons, Charlie, if you were a rugby player, wouldn't you? I think there'd be a few scrums given away.
A catch is a catch, Steve. I keep saying it.
What I saw earlier, but I won't go away from the fact that 200 quid to charity. Absolutely delighted about that. But it's Cobb going to bowl. Baba Azam is on strike, looking to make amends for what's been a fairly lean return from his Taunton existence. Let's not forget the 100 he scored at Glamorgan the other day, and Cobb starts with a wide. Doesn't really look to spin the ball, Cobb. He actually used to bowl very decent leg spin. These days bowls what's known in the game as darts, kind of quick non-spinning off spinners.
Yeah, which are very useful in T20. It's a good technique, even if it's not going to get you a massive spin. As Davies, this one plays into the onside. Good fielding. There's no run there. It's 10 for no loss. Hello to everyone who's watching from Pakistan. Not off the mark yet, but he has faced the ball now, Babar Azam. As it's Cobb this time manages to get it over the stumps. It's missed Steve Davies' bat, and it will go, I think, all the way. It will, for 4 byes given there. Don't know what the keeper was doing. Let's get a look at the replay. Maybe a little bit of turn there.
Yeah, shot watching. I've certainly done it myself as a wicket keeper, where you just expect the batter to hit the ball. It was a poor ball here from Cobb, and I think Rossington just expecting the batter Davis to hit the ball, and he didn't. And that goes away for 4 easy ones. We talked about the Wrigley's extras earlier, just really hurting any team. You just can't afford to give them away in T20 cricket. As Cobb again floats one up, Davis turns the ball away for no run on the onside. I beg your pardon. Babar Azam being starved of the strike early on this Somerset innings. I don't think he'll mind too much as he has a bit of a look at the bowlers as Davis tries to open up the offside and just gets one away to long off for a single. It's 15 for no wicket.
It's interesting when you watch Babar Azam. He's clearly a world superstar, fantastic batsman. You're just comparing the two. I mean, Steve Davies and Babar Azam, you compare the two. Babar is so slight, isn't he? There's no real weight, there's no muscle really on him. He times the ball, so he plays it in excellent form. A big appeal. I think that looks a bit leg side to me. Maybe even a bit of inside edge. We'll see if we can find a replay for you. But Babar Azam survives that one. 15 for no loss. Yet to lay bat on ball. Big Cobb coming over the wicket to Baba, who this time does manage to hit it, and he is off the mark, and they'll run a single for that one. So end of a good over for Somerset. 16 for no loss is the score after 2. The run rate is less than 7.
Yeah, Babar Azam is up and running, which is of course excellent news. He won't want to give everybody else another chance tonight. Just a stat on the screen there. Somerset scored at 9.49 runs per over last season in the Vitality Blast. That's the highest of all the teams in the competition. I think one of the other stats that was knocking around as well was that this county ground is the fastest or highest scoring T20 ground in world cricket over a concerted period of time, which of no surprise to people who have played and watched T20 cricket here. It really is a good place to watch, to enjoy and to play T20 cricket, to set a change in the bowling, as this time Azam just works one away on the leg side. That's no run. It's overthrows indeed. Davis and Azam run hard and they get 2 more. It is Buck into the attack. He replaces Sanderson, and he'll be fuming at what should have been a dot ball, and a good piece of bowling has actually resulted in 2 runs to Somerset.
Yeah, Azam on to 3 now, and that really shouldn't have been there. And it's frustrating to watch a side, let alone, forgetting who you're supporting. It's frustrating to see that sort of cricket, sloppy cricket, especially when they haven't got many runs to play with. And this one just defended by Baba, and they'll pick up a single there. Just pushed actually backwards nicely, angling the bat for a single, and Levi is the fielder who comes in. So the score moves on to 19 for no loss. I guess this, you could say, Steve, because there's so few runs that they're defending, actually they have to take those risks. They have to try and get those run-outs, even if ordinarily they wouldn't release a throw at the stumps. Maybe with those, just the fewer runs, they have to.
Yeah, always got to try and get a wicket in the power play, absolutely. So you've got to kind of take those chances, and I think getting the ball in good areas, and accepting the fact that the batsmen are going to have to play some fairly strong, risky shots, as well as this time that's a full ball from Buck, and Davis knocks away from a single. I guess the Somerset perspective, as much as they'll be looking to take advantage of the power play, they recognise actually to get 140, they don't have to play with reckless abandon here. They can play within themselves and just ensure that there's wickets in hand to I guess, chuck down this total. But I think equally, I still think it's important that Somerset look to attack, and Babar Azam will be feeling far more confident and competent in himself after that innings the other day. That is absolutely for sure. It's Nathan Buck who is in again from the city, and both of them stand there, and that's hit hard on the pad, and he's given out. So Babar Azam is out this time. His Taunton misery continues. Looks pretty straight, that one. Ian Blackwell giving Babar Azam LBW. That's been an unhealthy relationship between Blackwell and Azam, but I think this one, mentioned the other night, looked quite high. That looked absolutely stone dead. Azam playing across that delivery, and Azam has gone, unfortunately so. It's not been a happy return in terms of his innings at Taunton. His primary scores have been away from home, but that's the nature of T20 cricket, and he goes LBW to Buck for 4.
Well, good news for Somerset is, with Babar Azam, if he's playing better away from home, is that they haven't got another home game after this, potentially, assuming they don't get a home quarter-final, which has got a very, very, very small chance of happening. They can still qualify, win this game, and they are in the hunt, taking it to the last game of the group stage against Gloucestershire at Bristol on Sunday. It's 20 for 1. We talked about 1s and 2s being enough here. Somerset losing that early wicket. It'll be Will Smead coming to the crease, the 18-year-old from Glastonbury, someone who hit 82, what was it, 49 balls, something like that. It's on I think the Gloucestershire game here on the Sunday. We were here 5 days ago. Great
Seems
to
like
see.
a lifetime ago, doesn't it, Charlie?
Yeah.
Seems like such a long time in cricket. Absolutely.
It'll be Buck to the new batsman, Will Smead, making his 4th appearance for Somerset. This one just pushed out into the offside, no run, and there's no hurry. Again, we've talked about, actually it was a fairly good couple of overs, 20 runs scored before that wicket fell.
And Nathan Buck, I mean, he seems a lot taller than I remembered him. He looks like he's been on the rack and stretched. I don't know whether it's just a maturation and him getting older, but I remember playing against him. He was, kind of quite a scrawny little fella. He looks absolutely mahoosive now. I don't know what they've been feeding him up in Northants. But yeah, he looks kind of a similar kind of build to Inspector Gadget. Long and thin, and massive arms and massive legs. But it was a good over anyway by Nathan Buck. A really important wicket of Babar Azam, and just 4 runs from that over. So yeah, absolutely using his height to his advantage. Strong bowling against into the stumps, and Azam can have no complaints about that LBW decision. That was absolutely bang in front. Salmon Trout, that's out, Ian Blackwell would have said, and Northampton giving themselves a foothold in the game.
Yeah, massive wicket, of course, taking the world number 2 batsman out of the game. But Steve Davies is there on 10. Will Smeed, who improved what he's got in him, as Cobbs into the attack. This one just played back to him by Steve Davies. No run, 20 for 1. Somerset will be desperate to get just a bit of a platform going. You don't want to see too many early wickets going. It just brings that pressure back onto them, although it's only a small total they're chasing. Davies using his feet, coming forwards. Nice looking shot before that. Another £25 for the RNLI. That's a good looking shot from Steve Davies.
Yeah, classy shot that from Steve Davies. The ball wasn't quite there where he wanted it to be, but it didn't panic. Just extended the path of the bat through the ball. It was a kind of lazy, almost David Gower-esque flow of the bat as Davies just came down and just punched it down the ground. Superb shot by the Somerset wicketkeeper, and that will give him a little bit of confidence. Takes him on to 14. This time Cobb is in again, and Davies onto the back foot this time. Ball just missing his front pad. Cobb was ready for what looked like an elongated appeal and plea to umpire Warren. Fortunately, from Davies's perspective, there was no pad involved. Cobb bowling his overs quickly, and Davies laces this one through the offside. That's going to be 4 more runs. If I mentioned that first boundary was languid and lazy, that was crisp, that was sharp and punchy. Superb shot from Davies.
Yeah, when he's like this, he's brilliant to watch, Steve Davies. He's just that drive through the cover area, just lovely looking. Look at that, just using the angle on the bat, playing it nicely through point. Beautiful looking shot. 28 for 1. He's on to 18. What can Cobb do here? Again, trying to find that gap, not quite finding it this time. It's fielded at forwards point, and there is no run added. 28 for 1. This is, again, still not a bad start for Somerset. If it's just the 1 wicket down at the end of the power play, they won't be too disappointed with that as Cobb's in. And this one played again out towards forwards point, and there's no run. Steve Davies just trying to thread it through the gaps and not finding them there.
Yeah, 2 boundaries off the over there, so nice batting from Davies, and Cobb came back really well there, having gone for a couple of boundaries, and Davies looking to free up that offside. Just a reminder, please send in your streaming style pictures, where you're streaming the game from. If you're watching the game from anywhere in the world, show us your setup. Put the hashtag streaming style. There's £150 up for grabs in any currency, plus a Baba Azam shirt. Also, there's, I guess, translate to around 31,859 Pakistani rupees. So yeah, riches indeed up for grab. In comes Buck, and just a single to Will Smeed. They were very lucky there. Richard Levi was out of the circle. He ran in. It could have been a no ball. Umpire Warren and Blackwell, I don't know if they were onto that, but it didn't look like Levy was in the circle as that ball was bowled. Whether the umpires have picked up on that, it seems not. He was running in just as that ball was bowled, and I have to admit, the kind of etiquette in the game, that should have been a dead ball at least, or indeed a no ball. But there we go. We'll see what the impact of that. But Smeed is off the mark. That's good news for him. It's bucking again to Davies, and it's a nice shot off his legs. Run hard here, Davies. He's going to turn and go. Should get there for 2. The ball is returned to Rossington, and that's 2 runs. Davies is going nicely here. Takes him on to 20. Somerset 31 for 1.
Yeah, good looking from Davies, finding those gaps, running hard, and those runs coming nicely. So 31 for 1 means the required runs are now 110. That's a run rate of exactly 7. So going well so far for Somerset, as it'll be Buck coming in to Davies, who again just trying to turn this one around the corner. It's a good diving stop from Levi, and there's just a 1 run from it. Another dive from the opener for Northamptonshire. Let's take a quick look at the other scores going on as well at the moment. We should say there is a key game happening at Edgbaston. Birmingham Bears are in the power play, just coming to the end of their power play. They're 50 for 1 against Worcestershire. Somerset could really do with a Worcestershire win there tonight, so we'll keep you up to date as much as we can. That game will go on much later than this one, though. They're only just getting going in the last 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, absolutely. That game will be of huge interest to Somerset fans if Somerset can win this game. I think that's the kind of the caveat. But yeah, so as I mentioned, a few things going on. We haven't had the streaming style tweets going on too much, but we'll have a look at some of those in a minute. Also, we've got the Trade Nation boards out there tonight. £500 up for grabs if Somerset managed to hit one of those. Just incidentally, if you are curious or intrigued as to what Trade Nation do head across to their website, www.tradenation.com, and have a look for yourself. As in comes Buck again, and Smeed on the pull shot doesn't get it this time, and there's no run. We did have a bit of a joke ourselves, didn't we, when you're doing that catch-in, just what would be traded on you catching or not, which was quite funny. But
I think I would have surprised traders with that one.
Wasn't a lot of movement on the market, I think, but I think you'd have surprised a few. You were trending upwards, I think, which is the the terminology, Charlie.
Yeah.
But Smeed, interesting times for him. He's been out a couple of times playing the pull shot, looking to take that on again, and certainly his role in the power play will be to take the game forward, and he's on the back foot this time and defends, and there's no runs. So Northants going nicely here. Somerset 32 for 1 after 5 overs, so by no means this game is home and host.
No, absolutely not. I think we're in for a good one tonight. 32 for 1 with another over left of the power play. It means that the runs required 109, which Somerset will feel confident in. They've got 9 wickets intact, which is good to hear about. But for those of you just joining us late, you get a nice view of Steve's chinos there. For those on Chino Watch, he has whipped out the sandy chinos tonight. So you've given us a treat for our last home group game here, Steve.
Well, I have had a few comments from people at home saying they're enjoying the return of them. I thought the last couple of efforts have been extremely drab, but it's actually it's amazing how quickly this competition has gone, hasn't it? It's gone very quickly indeed. The games have come thick and fast. I can't believe we're at the penultimate group stage game. As Steve Davis, he hasn't finished for the night either. He hasn't checked out of this group whatsoever. What a strike that was! Superb shot through the offside. We've talked about the bat path through the ball. Steve Davis evidencing that again, a lovely flow of the bat, and made a crisp, punchy sound as the ball hit the middle of the bat from Steve Davis there.
Yeah, making the most of the power play, just taking it over the infield. No fielders out on that side. So, it's tempting, isn't it, for Steve Davis? I guess that's why they've done it. No fielder out on the offside, so take the risk, hit it over the inside. He's gone onto the leg side this time again. He's nicely shot just for 1. He didn't time it. And the fielder on the boundary comes around to collect it mid-wicket, so there is just the 1 run from it. We're into the last over of the power plays. We get to see a bit of Babar Azam in slow motion. This is him getting out. Yeah, it looks pretty low, coming in a bit as well, if anything, and pretty much straight in front. So you can see why Ian Blackwell, the umpire there, gave it out. And Smeed on strike. This one played out into the offside, a little bit edgily. There's no run added. 37 for 1.
Yeah, Smeed just 1 off 7 deliveries here, so taking his time to get going, and that's kind of almost like the opposite in T20 cricket of what you want as a batter. It just kind of makes you more edgy, it makes you want to score, makes you want to try and hit the ball. Seeing what Steve Davis has started to do is just to relax and accept the ball and then send it on its way, where Smeed here will start to be feeling anxious about his scoring rate, that's for sure. Just 1 off 7 balls, and this time he comes down the wicket, ball's up in the air. It's not going to go to hand, is it? It's been caught at third man. It has gone to hand. So again, just that anxiety of scoring rate or lack of it just showing through into Smeed there. Looked like a bit of width on offer as he adventured down the pitch to try and free up that offside. It looked like it was a slower ball as well. Good cricket from Sanderson. Good catch taken as well at third man by Buck, I think, and that's 31 for 2.
Yeah, Somerset got to be careful here. They're giving Northamptonshire a good sniff in the game. They're a team that can defend low totals, Northamptonshire, so Somerset will need to put together a partnership. Davies is looking good on 26. Tom Abel, you'd think would be the next man out. He's been in good form with the bat in both forms that they've been playing this season. Here he is coming into the field of play now. Somerset will desperately want a partnership just to put any chance of a Northamptonshire win out of their minds. Sanderson doing the business from the Marcus Trescothick end here, and Smeed getting a little bit worried about that strike rate. Do you think that would have been playing on his mind? Because there's no need to really play a risky shot like that.
Well, I don't know. I think like any batter, when you're 1 off 7 or 8 in a T20 game with a power play, that's kind of, you need to move the game on. So I think it's, in terms of it's a very understandable reaction, not just from a young player, from any batter. Your job there is to maximise the power play, and with it being the last over of the power play, I'd expect him to try and take the game forward. It didn't work this time, unfortunately, as Davis again looking for a single, and Sterling does the field and throws the ball at the non-strikers, and Davis gets himself off strike. Tom Abel, one of the quicker men in county cricket. But yeah, one of those things.
Yeah, well, Abel, who we've mentioned, has been in good form with the bat. Suicidal run out we saw of him last time we were watching Somerset at Taunton, but he'll be wanting to put that out of his mind. 38 for 2. Last ball in the power play. It's Tom Abel on strike. Sanderson will come over the wicket to him. And this one, it's down the leg side, helped on its way. It's going to be a leg bye. So Tom Abell won't get off the mark, but has added 4 runs to the team's total. So end of the power play, Somerset 42 for 2. It's not a massive score, but what that boundary has done is bring the required number of runs below 100 now, Steve. We're into double figures, 99 needed. And actually, given the state of the game, yes, if you're batting first, you'd be disappointed with 42 for 2. But actually, in this situation, I think probably even, would you say?
Yeah, I think so. I think just with knowing what you've got to chase, I think certainly still, I'd back the chasing team. I think if Northampton had 160 on the board, that'd be a bit different. But I think Somerset would be too perturbed at the moment. But a couple more wickets with the spin comes on, I think that does change things. But Somerset got that left-hand, right-hand combination, which I think is helpful. It doesn't allow the bowlers to settle. We just saw that there with the leg byes to Tom Abell. I've got no doubt that misdirected ball will be due to the left-hand, right-hand combination. It's not always easy just to switch back in terms of where you want your line to be, but it looks like Graham White is in to bowl to Steve Davis, who is very strong off that hip area and gets away straight away. That's a single to Davis, takes him on to 27. Somerset 42 for 2 as Graham White is just changing his field here as Tom Abell looks to get himself on strike. Tom Abell, one of the more effective players in T20 cricket against spin. I think his strike rate is higher than most players across the whole of the T20 blast, so he won't be too worried about what's happening here. As I say that, he gets an inside edge, it nearly castles him. That was very, very close to his off stump indeed.
I suspect that Tom Abell was pleased to get off strike after seeing that one. Quite happy to watch from the other end for this ball anyway, just to take a look at this bowler. It's a 44 for 2. Just confirmation, if you're go into this a bit more. If you're entering our streaming style competition, we'll tell a bit more. There's some exciting news for you on that one. That's gone out into the leg side. Steve Davis just pulling it over the inner circle there, and there's a single added. 45 for 2. Confirmation if you're taking part in that. The second prize and the first prize together, now they're both worth £150. You'll also get a Babar Azam shirt as well on that prize. A guaranteed winner will be from Pakistan for that one, as this one is just bowled outside offside of the off stump for Tom Abell, who couldn't quite get a bat on it. So the first prize, £150, that'll go to someone in the UK. Second prize will be someone from Pakistan, get the Babar Azam shirt and 150 quid. How many rupees is that?
31,859 rupees, which goes a long way in anyone's currency. That.
Yeah, fantastic. So that is how things will work. We'll get to that a little bit later on in this innings. So you can get your entries in now. Hashtag streaming style. Make sure you put in there at Somerset CCC and at It's Trade Nation. The score is 45 for 2 here at Taunton. Somerset taking on Northamptonshire. It's a must-win game. It certainly is a must-win game for Somerset. Northamptonshire are 2 points better off as it stands. If Somerset were to win tonight, then they will leapfrog them potentially into second place if other results go Somerset's way. Abell, this one playing this one onto the leg side off the bowling of White, and there'll just be 1 run from it. The score 46 for 2.
Yeah, it's really interesting, I think, partnerships when you're batting in cricket. So how Tom Abell likes to play, bustle between the wickets, I beg your pardon, and run hard. So Steve Davis, that isn't his game. So his game is 1s or 4s. So it's really important that Steve Davis just gets himself going, looks to get his 4s and his 6s, because Tom Abell will be looking to run those 2s, but he's not really going to get that with Steve Davis. So it puts more onus on Davis to keep the scoreboard going and for Abell to hit his boundaries as well. So yeah, so interesting balance in terms of how Tom Abell's got to adapt his game while batting with Steve Davis, who, by the way, has played superbly for his 29 so far of 24 deliveries. He's looked in excellent touch. It hasn't been the happiest of T20 campaigns for him so far, but Tom Abell just surveys the field. There's going to be another change in the bowling. Brandon Glover is into the attack from the Marcus Trescothick Pavilion end. He's just going through a few warm-ups there with Josh Cobb, the captain, I do believe. And Abell is just had a bit of a look around as a few adaptations are made in the field, but this is Glover is in to Tom Abell. He's wide of the off stump, and Abell cuts away to deep backward point where Proctor fields, and it's a single.
This will suit Abell. I think that sort of style bowling. He is good at using the pace, likes playing it out into the offside. Thanks to Maggie, who sent this picture, and you can see on your screens now, 3 weeks old and watching his first bit of cricket with Grandad. Oh, isn't that lovely? Look at that, enjoying the stream there. Possibly the youngest viewer we've got. Maybe you can do better than that. Hashtag stream in style. And make sure you tag in Somerset and at It's Trade Nation as Glover is in again from the Marcus Trescothick Pavilion end. This one beats the bat of Steve Davies, who played underneath it. 47 for 2 it remains. Another 94 runs needed for victory here. They've got 12 overs and 4 balls to get those 94 runs here. Somerset, they'd be desperate to get those to keep things alive heading to Gloucestershire on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone will be following this game with interest. That was a bit of width on offer from Glover. I haven't seen much of him and his career so far, so interested to see how he goes tonight. But he started with decent pace here as Davis drives the ball down to mid-on, where Zaid is going to do the fielding. That's just 1 run. Davis gets himself off strike. So certainly the onus on Steve Davis and Tom Abel, that experience, just to try and get Somerset slightly closer to that target. What we believe to be an under par score from the Steelbacks of 140, but as I said, judge a wicket after both sides have batted on it, but Somerset will certainly be very disappointed if they don't manage to chase this tonight. But credit to the Steelbacks, they've got a history of being very successful in this competition, and with that becomes a lot of competitiveness, resilience and belief that they can win the game from anywhere. So certainly they'll be very confident that they can restrict Somerset to less than 140. But it's a great scene here at the Cooper Associates County Ground tonight. The lights are on. The big red sky in the background as we look from the Marcus Trescothick Pavilion. It's a great night here, even though it is kind of getting near the end of September. It's still got that kind of late summer's feel about it. And of course we've got some cricket, which gives even more of a summer feel to it too. Glover in this time to Abel on the back foot, drives and drives hard. That ball is going to run away. Proctor's after it, can't stop it, dives away to his left hand side, crashes into the Rotrick hydraulic boards. 4 runs to Tom Abel. He opens up his boundary account. 25 quid to the RNLI as part of our partnership with Trade Nation. Just seeing Tom Abel there just spanking that one square of the wicket for 4.
Yeah, it's a trademark shot almost for Tom Abel, that one, isn't it? Lovely to see. He really does pepper that offside square boundary. 52 for 2 the score. Tom Abel on 7. Glover for the last one in the 8th over now, and this time he's just angling the bat here. Nicely played. It'll be just the one. They'll come back for 2. They're taking on the arm. Good running. Tom Abel knew he was going to the danger end there. It caused his downfall a couple of days ago, and we were here watching Gloucestershire, but actually that one longer throw in from the boundary, and good running from Tom Abel. 2's important in this game. It's hard clearly to get going, as Northamptonshire showed, so excellent running when you can.
Linford Christie, John Regis, Ewan Thomas and Tom Abel, the only 3 people in the world who would have made 2 there. Rapid between the wickets he is, but also it's not just the fact that he's quick. The awareness that he's got of what is a run. I know the other night, actually, to be fair, the awareness, that was horrendous from him.
It deserted him for a night.
Temporary blindness happened when he was at the crease. He failed to see Chris Dent last Sunday, but his awareness of running between the wickets is generally very good, as Davis opens up the offside this time, advances down the wicket. He's going to run back for 2 as well. Proctor having to put in a bit of a shift out there on the cover boundary. He was running away to his left-hand side in the last over. He's running away to his right-hand side this over, but good use of the angles there from Steve Davis.
I liked that shot because he didn't overhit it. He knew that actually the way to get more runs out of that was to make sure the ball didn't go too quickly to the fielder. So nicely carved into the offside as White is in. This one played upwardsly. Will it be a catch? No, it won't. Just inside the boundary here over Cow Corner for Steve Davies. It was a bit of a risky shot, but he spotted the gap and in the end judged it pretty perfectly. Let's have a look at it again. He's played that nicely, just through the line of the ball and watching it all the way. But you'll see he wasn't too far away from the fielders there who were converging on it. But the point is, another £25 to the RNLI, another 4 to the total, and it's Steve Davies again who's just playing this one out backwards of square, and it will be a single. The wicketkeeper ends up with a stump in his hand from that one. So that one, 61 for 2. We're going to head over and have a look at our drone as the sun's setting here. So at the end of the over, we will be seeing the sights of Taunton as the sun sets. And Steve, we're very lucky to be here. It's a beautiful night for a bit of cricket. We've actually been very lucky. We had that little bit of rain delay on the Birmingham game, didn't we, which reduced it. But actually on those home games we've watched, it's been really lovely. So White's in again, in this time a drive attempted on the onside, ended up on the offside, no run.
Yeah, it certainly was a development experience for me. We've talked about the development of Will Smead and Lewis Goldsworthy. You and I having to fill for 2.5 hours was certainly something that we don't want to have to do again in a hurry. But we had some good footage as well, some good things in the can that we could bring to you as well, as Tom Abel drives down the ground for a single. I'm a little bit surprised here that Northants haven't got another spinner into the attack. I do believe that Saif Zaid bowls some spin as well, and just seeing how the ball reacted to the spinners for Somerset when Goldsworthy and Van der Merwe and Waller were all in the attack early. I just think that Northants are just missing a little bit of a trick by not getting their spinners in the game a little bit earlier. But White is obviously in, and he's pulled away this time on the onside by Steve Davis. Is nicely fielded on the deep mid-wicket boundary, but it's just a single that Davis. He did hit that one nicely. There's Somerset on to 63 for 2, and Davis 38, Abel 10. Let's have a look at some of those said shots of the Taunton skyline from our superb drone cam.
Yeah, it is a really lovely evening. Bit of cloud around. It was perfectly blue skies when I was doing some catching earlier on. The cloud has come in, but still getting the red skies of the sunset there. The players coming together between overs. You can see them on the pitch there. There's the skyline at Taunton. Looks beautiful under the lights, doesn't it? Really great work from the groundsman as well, who's had a shortened season, quite an intense season, I should think, with the T20 games coming thick and fast. But looking a picture here in Taunton.
Yeah, I think the whole club has had to adapt, in terms of what's happened. Like everybody in every walk of life, but actually putting on cricket this year, the operational challenges that just from a COVID protocols has been extremely challenging. So credit to Kelsey Mitchell and the operations manager here, and all the team, and Scott Hawkins and his ground staff that have got all the cricket on for us all to watch. As Paul Sterling is into the attacker that's driven Steve Davis, and it's not fielded well at all. That's gone through Graham White at short cover, who holds his hand. I think that's going to be fielded on the boundary. It's going to go for 2 runs, but White's holding his fingers there, doesn't look happy at all. And when you're one of the primary spinners in the game, that does cause concern for the captain. It was an elegant stroke from Steve Davis, who get the full force of that Kookaburra blade through the offside. I think he's going to do that again, chips it down the ground. This time Zaid can't stop the one. It wasn't a catch either. But just coming back to what I was saying there, Charlie, all the protocols and everything that has to be in place from a biosecure environment and the rest of it. It's extremely kind of labour intensive and fairly monotonous for the people involved. So it's brilliant that they've been able to get that on and bring some cricket to people who people want to follow the team. They want to watch on the stream, and certainly with the final next week, the Bob Willis Trophy at Lords, and also Somerset still alive in this T20 competition. There is all to play for.
Absolutely. No, it's been really great to be able to see cricket, and that's, as you say, so much hard work gone into it, and it's been fantastically done. Just an update for you, some good news coming out of Edgbaston here, Steve. Birmingham Bears are 73 for 4, 10 overs in, so not only losing those 4 wickets, but also after 10 overs, that's not a particularly high score. We'll see how things progress. Somerset Open Worcestershire will do well. That one chipped out again by Davies into the offside. 2 runs from this Sterling over, which is just going for 1s and 2s, which is all Somerset really need at the moment. They can, perhaps if they protect their wickets, take more risks towards the end if they have to. But at the moment the run rate is just 7 and over, which is nicely under control. 72 needed. They've got 2 balls left to the halfway stage. Sterling is in, and this time Steve Davies says no. There's a chance of a run out here. The ball not coming in quick enough, and Abel scampering back to the non-striker's end.
Yeah, good call that by Steve Davis, because Tom Abel was coming. We talked about that awareness of running between the wickets, which temporarily deserted him the other night when he actually thought that he was Hussein Bolt rather than Tom Abel. But Davis again drives down the offside, and that's just going to be one. Abel's going to push hard. I don't think he's going to get back, but what we're seeing here is Steve Davis just slowly twisting the knife into the sinews of Northampton Steelbacks here. He's getting the 1s and 2s. He's not being too extravagant with those shots, just getting enough of each over without losing his wicket. And then as the numbers kind of just chunk down, Somerset look more and more likely to win this game. Straight on the screen for you there, Tom Abel, only 15% full shots in the 2019 T20 Blast while playing attacking shots, the lowest of all of them for the current Somerset squad. So I guess what we're saying is he's hitting the middle of the bat more often than everybody else, in short.
Yeah, which is great. Just shows how well he sees the ball, how well he judges each shot. Just an interesting point about the halfway stage here. 10 overs gone, 70 for 2. Usually what you do in a T20 is you double the score at 12, gives you an idea of where they're heading, because they tend to accelerate towards the end. Here, Somerset 70 for 2 with 71 runs needed. So they've managed to nick off half those runs already, and 10 overs still to do it with 8 wickets in hand. It's a good place to be. Davies playing this one into the onside, and we haven't seen anything too extravagant. We've seen 1s and 2s, and that's actually, for Somerset, is a really good place to be in at this stage of the game, knowing it's a must-win. That those risks they don't have to take quite so often.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all on the line here, isn't it, for both sides? Because effectively, pretty much a must-win for Northants as well. They make themselves vulnerable in the competition by not winning this game. So yeah, it's all to play for here. So certainly, I think the Somerset and Northants players will be feeling the pressure. Nobody kind of, like on bullseye, nobody wants to go home without the caravan, do they? Everyone wants to be in it to win it at the end. As it looks like a wide down the leg side, or a speedboat, I think it was, wasn't it, on bullseye? There's a wide down the leg side from Luke Proctor. Talked about some of the extras in the Northants innings earlier, where they do hurt you. Just makes it very, very difficult, and also makes it tricky to get your overs in enough time as well if you bowl too many of those extras. But Proctor, formerly of Lancashire, now fully immersed on the Northants staff. Quirky action, and Tom Abel smashes that away on the leg side. Great shot from Tom Abel, just timed all of that. Proctor strayed too straight, and Tom Abel capitalised on that in line and length, and didn't overhit the ball, and by gosh, got all of that. 4 more runs to Tom Abel. Just seeing there, allowing the ball to come onto his pads, sending on it his way. 4 more runs, 25 quid, RNLI.
Clever cricket from Tom Abel, really like that. Just seeing the gaps, knowing that actually don't have to hit a boundary every ball, don't have to go aerially necessarily. And again, finding that route. There was an attempted catch, a bit of a dive, not particularly good fielding. It's gone underneath him. Maybe I'm being harsh. It was a big old stretch to get there, but another 4 runs, Tom Abel finding there, and that's 2 consecutive boundaries.
I don't think you're being harsh here at all. Hopefully the replay will pick this up. I think that was really poor fielding by Glover at short fine leg. I think he had a chance there to catch this ball, and he dived over the ball. I'm a huge believer in every game there's a moment in a game which is signifies actually the direction of travel, and I think he catches that. Tom Abel gone, 76 for 3. New batter in, Lewis Goldsworthy, not particularly experienced. I think that's a massive moment in the game, Glover dropping that catch. And it didn't look like he was expecting the ball, it didn't look like he was engaged, it didn't look like he was switched on, it didn't look like he was anticipating. It didn't look like as though that ball was life or death to him. And in professional sport, every ball counts. Got to win every ball. And you think you were being harsh on Glover here. I've absolutely sold him out there, but I think that's a huge moment in that game. And as we said, Tom Abel, he's the most effective of Somerset's batsmen, 15% of full shots, and you've got to take advantage of when he makes those full shots.
Yeah, it looked to me like a late dive. I don't know if this is going to be the shot. Was this the one we've just seen all the yeah, that is Davies on strike, so it's not this one, but he just looked like he was a bit slow, like you say, just wasn't engaged with it, perhaps dived the wrong sort of dive. It looked like a looping dive for something that was coming quite quickly to him. Didn't even get a hand to it, I don't think. As Davies on strike now, there's a big rap on the pads. There's a wicket. There is the wicket, and that is a big moment, Steve, that you're talking about now. They've managed to get a wicket. The bowler not relying on his fielders there, doing it all himself, getting an LBW shout. Davies has gone on 45. It's a nice innings for 45, but that is the end of his night now. 81 for 3. The score. You can see the replay on the screens now, and Davies will continue walking in that direction because that is where the makeshift pavilion is at the moment, and Somerset are 3 down with 60 runs needed from the remaining 9 overs.
Yeah, Davies just playing across that one. He'd played some lovely shots in his innings there, Steve Davies, 45 off 37 deliveries, and he hasn't had much success so far in this competition, but tonight he actually really made sure that with Babar Azam leaving early, really made sure that he was the man just to provide a guiding hand. We've got a RNLI in the house tonight, haven't we? But that steady ship, that life-saving innings from Steve Davies, absolutely. So he provided that I guess platform for the other guys to come in and see Somerset home. So interesting knock from him. Also, we've got a bit of a change in the Somerset batting order tonight. We saw Lewis Goldsworthy come at 5 the other night. Tom Lammonby is coming, and I think again to keep that left hand right hand thread and attacking both ends with the left arm spin. I think that's quite a smart move.
I like that, and I like because Lammonby has been coming in at 7, as low down as 7, and actually been ending not out with runs still needed and hitting quite well. So getting in a bit earlier here, like you say, left hand right hand split, also nothing wrong with that. As Abel's on strike to this one, lovely looking cover drive here. He crouched as he played it, and that will bring up 2 runs. These two much quicker between the wickets, you'd think, together than perhaps Davies and Abel together. 2 very young
scamperers,
batsmen, absolutely, and that can make a difference for 1s and 2s, especially if towards the end you need those extra runs. It'll be Abel on strike again after that 2. This one will just be, you'd think, maybe the single. Will they look for 2? No, just the 1 run there. And we've got 2 Toms at the crease. But I like that move. Tom Lambert, I wonder if he was sort of floating. I wonder if they thought, well, we'll see how we go and then we'll put him in at the time we think is right. Or whether they always knew he was going to come out at this point. But Tom Lambert, he knows how to hit a big 6 as well.
Yeah, slightly different role for him tonight, where actually the game is set out for him. He's actually probably got to do a bit more. In some of the other games, he's come in where actually Somerset have been behind the curve. He's actually had to come in and provide the impetus to the innings. It's almost tonight he's got a choice of how he's going to play. Somerset needing 57 off 8.3 overs, so he's actually got the chance to shape the direction of the game, as opposed to in previous games he's come in and had to almost try and catch the game up. So really interested in how he goes about this, as this time he pulls the ball down the offside or the leg side for a single, and that's 1 more run.
It's always interesting, I think, when a batsman comes out, you look how many runs are needed. So we've got 57-ish here, halve that, so about 27, 28. And if you think if that batsman can make that many runs, then the team are in a good position, aren't they? So that's one's Abel just clipping it onto the leg side. They'll think about 2. They will come back for it. Bad bit of fielding there. Got a bit mixed up, I think. Northampton's not been particularly impressive in the field so far. We've seen overthrows. We've seen drop catches. When you're defending a small total, you can't afford too many of them.
But also, I think, let's talk about the elephant in the room here, Charlie, and I don't mean that figuratively speaking, as Tom Abel drives down the ground. Northants are a very different shape athletically to Somerset. Somerset have got a very different athletic makeup, very much younger side. Somerset's side physically fitter than Northants, and that's been evident so far based on the fielding performances. Some great shots from our drone cam of the Somerset surface, the Cooper Associates County Ground here. But the last home group game for Somerset in, I think are we in the West group? I don't even...
Central
group?
and Wales.
Yeah, Central and Wales, so many things to consider these days, Charlie. I don't know whether we're coming and go, what are we doing tomorrow? No idea. But I'll tell you what, it is happening out there. Tom Abel and Tom Lammonby, the 2 Toms, hashtag 2 Toms, hashtag very able, hashtag come on over Lammonby, are out there, and they're trying to win this game for Somerset as Lammonby chips one up down the ground, teases Graham White with that. Tom Abel could come back for 2 here. He thinks better of it. We don't want any more Chris Dent style moments as we saw on Sunday. And Lammonby, not the most attractive of shots, but takes him on to 2.
Yep, 53 needed. Going to keep an eye on that. The run rate dropping now, 6.8, even with that wicket falling. With Steve Davies going, the wicket hasn't made a difference. That run rate still falling. It's been around 7 pretty much the whole night now into the 6s. So looking good for Somerset in that respect.
Yeah, it's not quite the time to turn the tractor, as we'd said, in terms of not quite start the car. It's turn the tractor on in Somerset, but we're not quite in that stage yet, Charlie. There's plenty more twists and turns and Thatchers to be drunk in terms of tonight's game. It is Friday night in Taunton. After all, it is the night not necessarily to celebrate. So if you're at home in your group of 6 and you're enjoying the live stream, just give us a tweet, let us know, show us the hashtag streaming style. Charlie and myself loving the cricket up here in the makeshift commentary box as Tom Lammonby skips down the wicket and elegantly clips a ball for 1. My word, he is going to be a fine young cricketer, isn't he? Absolutely. Graham White just looking and thinking, how can he curb the flow of runs? We will be announcing the hashtag streaming style results very shortly. 150 quid locally in the UK and 150 quid plus a Baba Azam shirt in Pakistan as Tom Abel just bunts one down the ground for 1. Graham White scratches his head almost to say, how did you get that one there?
It's really interesting watching this T20 side because it is a vision of the future for Somerset. Yes, there are experienced players in there, but actually players like Smead, Goldsworthy, Lammonby, I mean, even Abel's got a long old future ahead of him in Somerset colours. You think the Overton, well, I was going to say the Overton twins, obviously Jamie's now left, but Craig Overton still got plenty of years left as this one just clipped into the leg side by Tom Lammonby. And there is just the 1 run added. It really is a vision of Somerset's future, which is great to see. And the club putting faith in their side. It's not like the team is out and they've thought, well, let's just fill the side with youngsters, see how they get on. It's the side's still very much in the hunt for quarterfinals and putting faith in the young players. Great to see.
Yeah, I totally agree, Charlie. It's great to see so many of them out there tonight. They've got to deliver. That's an elegant cover drive from Tom Abel. It's brilliantly fielded at short cover. Superb field in that. I think that might be Alex Wakely just doing the fielding, who Sanderson, in actual fact, who holds his fingers. Tom Abel did hit that very crisply indeed. That was certainly an Angelina Jolie / Brad Pitt style cover drive, wasn't it? absolutely outwardly gorgeous. But yeah, no result achieved whatsoever. So no substance from it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Not that Angelina and Brad are limited in substance. Well, they might be. Who knows? Never met them before. Charlie, ever interviewed them as part of your BBC radio show?
Do you know what? Brad Pitt has never put himself up for an interview on BBC Radio Somerset. So,
Brad, if you're watching, streaming style, hashtag send a picture of yourself.
How are you watching?
Angelina, if you're still together, you've probably got another wife by now. If you haven't, then send me a number. Paul Sterling is into the attack again. Tom Lammerby looking very confidently poised there at the striker's end. Number 15, Tom Lammerby. He has had a breakthrough season in Somerset colours, 200s in the Bob Willis Trophy, but he's played some innings of substance in T20 cricket as well, and obviously chipped in with a few vital wickets and run-outs as well. He's a very good outfielder. I'm painting him out to be absolutely the next Wazzy Makram of cricket, but Paul Sterling is into the attack. Lammerby crouches, awaits Sterling, and this time the ball is straight, and there's an easy single away on the onside. Levy, he is been largely kept to that short fine leg position tonight and is unable to stop a single there. It's 93-for-3. We're in the 14th over so far. Levi and Sterling in combination, but they're unable to stop the flow of runs at the moment as Abel works one away on the onside for a single, and it's well fielded by Zaif, who pings the ball back into Rossington, and just a single.
Just to say, we will be announcing our UK winner of the £150 for the stream in style, so if you've been sending in your photos of how you're watching, keep an eye out. End of the over, we will be announcing the UK winner. There's a Pakistan winner as well coming up, as this one, Sterling, is just pushed into the onside this time by Tom Lammonby, and there's just a one run from it. So 46 needed, still 6.5 overs to go. Somerset are in a well, this is the sort of position they'd have dreamed about being in, really, in the start of a game, knowing it's a must-win match. Sterling over the wicket to Abel. It's a full toss. He sweeps hard. He's picked out the fielder, so they'll just pick up the single here. And it's a bit of a missed opportunity, you feel, from Abel. But the one run from it, 96-for-3. Those runs coming down nicely, bit by bit for Somerset. And at the moment, Somerset fans, I think, will be feeling pretty confident with how this game is going. Plenty of time for that to change, as all Somerset fans will know. Around the wicket, this time Sterling, and push forwards nicely into the covers by Lammonby, and it's just the one run.
Yeah, it's almost a bit of a quandary sometimes of how hard you want to go. So Somerset decide to start hitting some boundaries and actually take the game and finish it with an over or two to go, but they keep getting kind of 7, 8 and over. Kind of does bring and keep Northants into the game somewhat, as Abel reverse sweeps. He's going to get 4, is he, this time? Proctor's patrolling the cover boundary. He can't get anywhere near it. Tom Abel, the super sweeper Tom Abel, the reverse sweep. We've seen some flip-flop scoops from him so far in this campaign, but this time it was an orthodox reverse sweep, if there is such a thing these days, manoeuvring the field. He only got one man to beat at short backward point. Superb shot from Tom Abel. Takes the 100 up for Somerset. Abel on to 33. 6 overs to go, 40 to win.
And on screen now you can see our winner of the stream in style. Well done to you. If you are redecorating a bathroom, Penny it was who sent us this one. Thank you. Watching the stream while refurbishing our bathroom. Come on, Somerset, they say. Fantastic stuff. Stream in style. Well done. 150 quid heading your way. Just a quick look at Tom Abel's reverse sweeping history. He is, as you said, the super sweeper. He loves a sweep shot, and that was perfectly executed there, just taking it past the fielder at the backward square leg. Lovely shot.
Yeah, Charlie Taylor mentioned earlier the Somerset's future here, Lammonby and Abel, as Zaif is into the attack, and he's met with a Tom Lammonby pull shot. He's going to push hard. It's going to be tight for a second, but Lammonby and Abel are so fit, they're so fast, they're so hungry for runs, and they're so determined to get Somerset over the line in this game. That's evident from their body language and their tactics so far. Great batting from Lammonby. Zaib again, short run up. This time Lammonby defends calmly, collectively, patiently. One run.
Just found out we've got over £1,000 raised for the RNLI. I just want to say as well, our cameraman Jeff, who's doing a great job for us, keeping an eye on all things there. Jeff is the treasurer of the RNLI Portishead group there, so he's given me a bit of information. It's the newest of the RNLI's 247 lifeboat stations. There getting the money for charity, which Tom Abel is going to add to here. Is he? No, he's not. There's a fielder on the boundary, but another one added. So far, over £1,000 raised, including the money that we raised by you facing an England international in the nets, and by me doing some catching out on the field. Over £1,000 now heading to the RNLI in Portishead, which is great news as Lammonby comes forward, plays this one, flick of the wrists into the onside, and it'll be just a single. 106 now for 3, just 35 runs needed, and they've got 5 and a bit overs to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if we can get a shot of him on social media later. It's very difficult to get a shot of the cameraman, isn't it? But I know that Jeff, our cameraman, as Tom Abel is beaten on the outside half by Saif Zaib. There's no run. Our cameraman Jeff is wearing an RLLI shirt and tie today, and he's looking resplendent and wearing those very proudly, and quite rightly too. He'll be accepting the cheque at the end of the game, so we will see him on screen, which is great to do. Brilliant to see the cameraman in front of the camera as Tom Abel late cuts or late dabs for a single. One more to the total, so 5 overs remaining. Somerset 34 to win. You'd think that they'll be very, very competent and confident of achieving this total. If we just have a look at Tom Abel, let's have a look at his setup. Hashtag Tom Abel streaming style. And that cut shot is a trademark Tom Abel shot. Stays very poised and balanced at the crease. That shot there from Glover earlier was a superb square cut. But as I mentioned earlier, the RNLI benefiting tonight. Great to have GFR cameraman representing them here, but Somerset are representing themselves extremely well tonight. They were outstanding with the ball. They were sharp and vibrant in the field, and with the bat they've been composed, collected, and made some great decisions so far.
Yeah, absolutely right, and all of those things I agree with, but also I've been a bit disappointed with Northamptonshire. They were running away with the table at the start of the season, won game after game. They were being televised, winning games, playing big. They haven't impressed me at all really tonight. Not much to pick out that's been a positive, as White is in, and this one played into the onside by Tom Abel. They'll think about 2, but there isn't a 2 there. It's a good arm from Zaif through the long on area, so there is no 2, but just a single there. You can see the colours that we're looking at. Really beautiful evening here in Taunton. It'll be even more beautiful if Somerset can chase down these 33 runs needed. 108 for 3 is the score. It's a big ask for Northamptonshire from here. Somerset have got it in the bag at the moment, you'd think, as this is a huge shot from Tom Lammonby. Down on one knee, playing it over the Somerset stand, and that one has gone all the way. Another £50 for the RNLI on its way. What a shot from Tom Lammonby, who knows, as I said when he came in, how to hit a big 6. Look at this.
Shot of the night for me, this. Lammonby set himself in a strong base. We've seen him do that on various occasions so far in this T20 campaign. What I love the fact, he's the one hitting with the spin to the short side. He hasn't said to Tom Abel, more experienced player, club captain, no, you take the risk. He said, I'm taking on the responsibility here, Tom. I'm going to be the person to take on the short boundary because it's an easier shot from me. Smart cricket, that, from Tom Lammonby. That's why he's going to be a superstar of the game.
Well, if this is why he's been brought in, it's working well. And if Somerset deciding to go for it now, no, this one just played into the onside. They'll pick up probably 2 the way that's been parried. No, just a single. And again, a good decision there. Fielder was coming in unsighted to me. So nicely run. Another one to the total. Somerset could now, with just 26 runs needed, really go for it. Run rate could become important towards the end of this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely, and they'll start thinking about that the closer they get to the game. That was an absolute, what they call in the game, as a Tom Abel drives one through the offside for a single. That was an Alan parry from Josh Cobb at short cover when he just parries one on, or a ricochet, as they say. Not quite gathering the ball, but just tipping it round the post. Not quite like a Charlie Taylor knock-on that we saw earlier. Because you manage, you get the ball in.
Use the chest control. If you can't, if you're running out of other body parts to use, just get your chest involved. As this one, they think about single, but not there actually. Tom Lammonby just hitting it into the dirt, so no run added. The score 116 for 3. Somerset have been on top pretty much from, well, early on, if not from the very start, but if early on in the Northamptonshire innings, that we haven't really felt that there was too much in this for Northamptonshire, and we're yet to feel it. Who knows what might happen in the remaining 4 overs, but it's going to have to be good. This is a reverse sweep, and there's a stumping is there, and I think Lammonby's okay. Reverse sweeping, but keeping his foot in the crease, so although he missed it, keeper whipped off the bails, all safe, and there is no run added. Let's take a look now at another streaming style winner, this one coming from Pakistan, so 150 quid heading your way. So Steve, perhaps you'd remind us just how many rupees That is?
Yes, 31,859 rupees, and our man who's winning it doesn't look like he's doing a lot of work there. It looks like he's in the office.
We've all been there.
Doesn't look like he's getting an awful lot done, but certainly enjoying his cricket there.
Thank you, Mukara Mustafa there, who says, crazy about Somerset, watching live from the office. I never want to miss any single ball, even if I'm at my work table. Hashtag huge fan. Good stuff. Mukaram, great to hear from you. 150 quid, or equivalent in rupees, about 18,400 heading your way. And the Babar Azam shirt as well.
What a night, what a time to be alive, and just shows the benefits of watching our stream in conjunction with Trade Nation. Well, I've got a score update for many Somerset fans who'll be interested by what's happening in the local derby between Birmingham and Worcestershire. Well, Birmingham are staging a recovery. They're 137 for 4. Sam Hain, who is a fine player indeed, is 37 not out, and Dan Mousley, former England under-19 international and local lad, is 32 not out. So they're certainly getting Birmingham in the game. But back here at Taunton at Cooper Associates ground, it's Tom Abel who's on strike, who gets an under edge off Nathan Buck, who is returning to bowl from the Sir Ian Botham stand end. It's the lights taking full effect here at Taunton as the sun just disappears down over the Quantocks. Although that would be kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean World's End, wouldn't it, if the sun goes underneath the Quantocks? That would be a parallel universe, as Josh Cobb is having a chat with Nathan Buck. Just a quick reminder, if indeed you do want to come to Taunton this week, Stragglers, our coffee shop, is open from 10 till 3. I think that's open on Tuesdays. From Tuesday, I'm not sure we're open on Monday, but they will be showing the Bob Willis Trophy final, so no fans obviously allowed to go to Lords to watch that. But if you do want to watch it in the coffee shop with a lovely brew from our very friendly and hospitable staff, then do please come down and watch the live stream. Unfortunately, I've got some bad news for you. It won't be myself and Charlie Taylor, although I'm still awaiting the call from TMS. Adam Mountford, if you're listening, I do think you have got my number, but I don't think Charlie and myself are going to be there, but we will be avid watchers and listeners of that, for that is sure. But let's concentrate on the next ball, really. It's Nathan Buck, and he's into Tom Abel. Doesn't time this one. Lammerby and Abel are going to push hard. Could be a chance of run out. Zabe's an excellent fielder. Shies at the bowler's end, and Lammerby is very quick and he gets home.
They're sticking with ones and twos, which is great. It will get them the win, you'd say, from here at this point. What I'd love to see is Somerset to just go up in the style. I would like to see a few more. They can afford those risks now. I don't often think this, but you can afford that. The run rate, yes, Somerset's is good, but it's just worth having as good a run rate as you possibly can going into what is a very tight finish in the table. So let's see what happens with this ball. It's Tom Abel on strike, who's playing this one out to cover, and it is going to be. Oh, I thought it was going to be a run out. Oh, if he'd hit the stumps, it would have been miles out. Tom Abel was stranded halfway down the pitch there. Lammonby making his decision up for him, coming all the way up, but actually I don't think there was a run there. Straight to the fielder's hand.
Yeah, it's poor cricket that from Lammonby or Abel. We're not quite sure who called. We couldn't hear that, but there's just no need to give Northants a sniff here. I think your comment is right in terms. It's almost like, imagine a 1,500 metre runner kicking for home as you get into that final 200, 300 metres. There's no need to give the other runners a sniff. You want to give everything you've got into that last few balls. Tom Lammonby gives that everything he's got. It's a slice drive over mid-off.
It's a slog drive.
Not quite a slog drive, Charlie, as we saw a couple of games ago. A slice drive. It wasn't the purest of strikes. We talked earlier about some analogies with celebrities, which I'm not going to go into again, as that replay from Tom Lammonby. It was just a bit of a flourish to finish, but he did engineer his hands to open up the offside, and that ball not far away from that Trade Nation boundary. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Jeff would love that on the camera. 500 quid to the RNLI. That would be absolutely superb, just to cap off what's been a superb day so far for Somerset. Bucker's in again, and Lammonby nudges one round the corner. He's going to push hard again. Levi's going to do the fielding, but it's just a run. We've seen it all here today. We've seen a great Somerset batting and bowling performance. We've seen a measured and controlled chase, which looks like it's going to be enough to get Somerset over the line. Just 15 runs required from 3 overs, 7 wickets in hand. We've seen some Charlie Taylor crocodile catching, which raised 200 quid for charity. We've seen some smart batting from myself, Steve Snell, in the nets against Don Bess. I'm not going to allow Charlie any response to that whatsoever. To be honest, we saw some over-adventurous batting from myself against Don Bess.
If you're calling 2 straight to mid-wicket, then you're not lasting long in the game. That's what's happened here. You've been talking about Tom Abel's awareness of running. I'm not sure yours is there at the moment if you're calling 2 for those shots.
We're going to come back to it. It's all for charity. It's all good fun. And we'll get some highlights of that on our social media outlets this week. I know that Charlie's been getting an awful lot of stick from Axbridge Cricket Club, and also I think expectation on Charlie's fielding from Axbridge Cricket Club has increased by the sounds of it. But there's another change in the bowling. Looks like Sanderson is back into the attack. 2 overs for 14 so far, so he's been affected. Tom Lammonby does try at the slog over mid-wicket. It wasn't the most prettiest of shots, but very ambitious, and Tom Abel and Lammonby run exceedingly well together, so much so that they're able to run 3 as Richard Levi trudges to the boundary to pick that one up.
Yeah, it's good from Somerset. 12 needed. That's all they need. 12 more runs. They've got 17 balls to do it. The run rate down to just 4.2. It gives you an idea of just how good Somerset have been in this game. The bowling was massively improved. The batting has been good. It's been excellent to see Somerset put together a performance like this, especially as A, it was a must-win game, but B, if you are going to qualify for quarterfinals, you want to come off a good run. Say you had Northamptonshire scraped through even after the back of a few defeats, as Sanderson is in again to Abel. This one played onto the leg side. There'll be just the one to Zafe. You'd think he's got a good arm on him. But you want to go in with a bit of momentum, and actually Somerset building up nicely here with a win against Glamorgan. Looks like it's almost certainly a win here against Northamptonshire. If they can get that result against Gloucestershire, then a quarter-final is theirs, pretty much guaranteed. No, Steve, you're telling me no? I thought it was in their own hands here.
Yeah, well, not quite. I think it's still relying on a few results going our way. So
Bears,
there's a few things that need to happen. But I think most importantly, what it does do, it gives Somerset a chance. It makes that game important. And I think I was worried for a period of time after the first couple of games as Tom Lammonby goes big, again showing that 6-hitting range he's got. You can hear the players whooping with delight over on the far side in the Colin Atkinson Pavilion. It was a superb strike by Tom Lammonby. He's playing with surreal confidence at the moment. He's playing like a man without a care in the world, but also a man who's scored a lot of runs this season as he deposits that one just short of the churchyard. Takes Tom on to 42. I beg your pardon. That's Tom Abel on to 42. Takes Lammonby on to 33 off just 20 deliveries. But most importantly, for Sunday, Super Sunday it is now, there's everything on the line for a lot of teams in T20 and to get to the quarterfinals. As this is another crisp shot from Tom Lammonby. He gets another 4. This time, Lammonby just works the ball off his toes. 4 more runs to the young Devon and Somerset batsman. Superb timing, that one, Charlie.
Absolutely beautiful. Just a quick one. There's 1 run needed. Scores a level. Just a quick one. Birmingham play Northamptonshire on Super Sunday. It'll be those 2 teams in Somerset vying for 2nd place. So fascinating stuff. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think what we'll need is Birmingham to lose one of their games against either Worcestershire tonight or Northampton. So if Birmingham were to lose one of their games and Somerset to win both games, it's very likely that Somerset qualify. I think that's the permutations, but there are some other things in the other groups which mean that we could finish 3rd and qualify even if Birmingham do win both their games. So plenty to think about as Tom Lammonby somehow misses that slower ball from Sanderson with just 1 to win. It'd be really good to see Lammonby hit the winning runs and be there again, get used to that feeling of being the man that gets your team over the line. And this has been an innings of high quality from Tom Lammonby and from Tom Abel. They came together at the fall of, I think it was Steve Davis who was dismissed, so that the partnership here has been absolutely superb from the pair of them.
95 partnership
as Tom Lammonby on the strike and pulls this one away. That one's going to go for 6. That's going to be 50 quid more to the RNNI. Superb stuff from Tom Lammonby. He finishes on 43 not out. He overtakes Tom Abel. Not that that matters a jot. Somerset have won with 2 overs to spare. They've won with 7 wickets. It's been a comprehensive performance. They've come out tonight, a must-win game, and they've been clinical, they've been composed, and they've delivered when they've needed to, Charlie.
2 fantastic batsmen for Somerset, really encouraging to see them doing well. It was a 65-run partnership, my mistake in the end, which has been fantastic work. £1,300 raised for the RNLI tonight. Fantastic. Thank you for your help in doing that. Well done to everyone who's got involved with us this evening. And we're finishing on a positive note here in the group games for Somerset. It is all riding on that final game against Gloucestershire. Gloucestershire doing so well, they're already qualified. Will they have taken their foot off the gas slightly? Who knows? It's really exciting. Somerset in action on Sunday. If they can play like they did tonight, Steve, pretty much a complete performance. Do you fancy them on Sunday against a good Gloucestershire side?
Well, I think it's going to be a really tough game, Charlie. Obviously, the heart wants Somerset to win that game, absolutely. But I think there's lots to play for. So I think what the advantage will be, having played Gloucestershire already quite recently, there'll be a lot more information, current information, about what both sides are about. And obviously, the intensity of the game will be very different. It'll be a must-win game for Somerset. For Gloucestershire, it'll be about building for those quarter-finals. So I guess in short, we'll have to see, but it's brilliant to go into that last weekend of cricket with something on the line, with a pressure game to play in, and that's what the players want to be involved in. They want to be on something that means something that matters, But yeah, it's been a superb evening tonight. We've been absolutely delighted with the performance by Somerset. A big thanks to our partners, Trade Nation, for, I guess, supporting all our home games and the balls we've had around the ground. Unfortunately, they weren't able to hit tonight, but sponsoring in conjunction with all our charities that have benefited. But as we mentioned earlier, check them out, tradenation.com, have a look at what they're all about. But yeah, a superb evening of T20 cricket.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Steve, for your help as well. Been fantastic working with you. Steve Snell, the Academy Director at Somerset, and I'm Charlie Taylor. And it's been absolutely fantastic fun watching, and we'll see how things progress for Somerset throughout the rest of the group stage.
Yeah, before we go, I think it's worth noting in terms of for everyone at home who hasn't been able to join us from Somerset, who have been following our live stream, and I mentioned earlier about some of the work that's gone in behind the scenes in order for this to happen. But I know Ben Warren and Dan Cooper have been extremely proactive, and also kind of actually pushed the boundaries of what's possible from a streaming perspective. So you and I, we get to have all the fun, don't we, out in the middle doing the catching competitions, etc. But it is brilliant to kind of give those guys some recognition in terms of what's been happening behind the scenes. And I know all the tweets we've been getting, the streaming styles, the hashtags and the engagement from all around the world, we really appreciate it, and we hope to bring you some more of that, and hopefully in the not too distant future.
Yeah,